On her way to work, the girl named Sinjin suddenly saw a familiar figure. She subconsciously quickened her pace, watching his back disappear into the crowd. Sinjin thought their fate was just a fleeting moment, but unexpectedly, he appeared right where she worked. She gently paused, gazing at the calm face that had long been etched in her memory. In the meeting room, Sinjin heard General Manager Shun introduce the technology director of Tongchun, named Li Wu. He had just returned from overseas and was very famous in the technology world. Sinjin introduced herself as the creative director of Shengchan Company. Sinjin asked for permission to present a promotional plan for the Environmental Protection Technology exhibition. She wanted to name the theme Entanglement. Hearing this, Li Wu's heart unconsciously trembled. He recalled the feeling of excitement at the first moment he met Sinjin. He still wore the electronic watch she had given him years ago. He also still used the fountain pen that she had immediately known suited him. Director Tsin, how do you perceive the meaning of entanglement? For Sinjin, entanglement is the connection between lives that cannot be severed, like a kite tied to a string. Even if the wind blows it far away, there's no worry of getting lost. As long as the string in hand doesn't break, the entanglement will always exist. Li Wu wondered how something invisible, like feelings, could be confirmed as an entanglement. He hoped that during the upcoming collaboration, the promotional team could explain it more deeply. In the restroom, Sinjin still couldn't calm down. She remembered visiting a small mountain village years ago. There, she first met Li Wu. Sinjin and her boyfriend, named Wu Fu, on behalf of her father, took over the sponsorship for Li Wu. The village chief praised Li Wu for being sensible and for always ranking first in his studies. Just then, General Manager Shun called to inform her that he had invited the clients to dinner. Sinjin stepped into the elevator and coincidentally met Li Wu again, and her previous calmness suddenly vanished. She was so tense she counted every floor number in her head. But when the elevator opened, Li Wu unexpectedly blocked her path. Sinjin, do you understand the meaning of entanglement? It is love, and it is also hate, but it isn't about not caring. Why haven't you contacted me at all for so many years? Sinjin walked away decisively, leaving Li Wu behind with heartbroken pain. During the meal, Sinjin heard General Manager Shun introduce the famous yellow croaker dish. She hurriedly rotated the table towards Li Wu and said the foie gras was also very delicious. Shun Jun praised that Sinjin was young but excellent, so she would represent Shengchan and take full charge of the cooperation project with Tongchun. On the way out, Shun Jun asked Sinjin, "Are you not calling Dr. Liu to pick you up?" Li Wu heard this and felt even more messed up inside. He saw Cheng Rue about to greet Sinjin, so he immediately pushed his friend inside. Cheng Rue knew Li Wu was pretending not to note Sinjin. He remembered his friend insisted on coming, but kept a face as stiff as plaster the whole time. Just then, Shun Jun created a work group chat. Li Wu immediately went to Sinjin's profile page, but didn't see any status updates. He borrowed Cheng Rue's phone. Sure enough, she had posted a lot of photos. Li Wu's gaze stopped at a photo. Sinjin was taking a picture with a man. A suspicion rose in his heart. Is that Dr. Liu? He returned the phone to his friend, trying to hold back his heart that was about to break. Don't let it show on the outside. 8 years ago, Sinjin received a call from Li Wu. He reminded her that he was a student who was once sponsored by Mr. Tsin. He said that last year he missed the university entrance exam. Sinjin remembered that the tuition was still transferred to his grandfather's account. Li Wu said his grandfather had been dead for a year, and he had moved to live with his aunt's family. Last year, right before the university entrance exam, his uncle forced him to work in the mines. Now he wanted to continue studying, but they wouldn't let him. Li Wu had just contacted Wu Fu, but he said he had already broken up with Sinjin. She immediately called Wu Fu and asked if he was that irresponsible. Wu Fu thought that since Sinjin's father started the sponsorship, he should hand over the right to end it to her. Sinjin could continue being a good person or refuse him. She realized that in his eyes, sentiment wasn't worth a cent. Sinjin called Li Wu back, but someone else answered the phone. They said Li Wu borrowed the phone, but couldn't wait for Sinjin anymore. Returning to Yunfeng village, Sinjin coincidentally met the commune's secretary named Cheng Li Xue. She explained that her father used to sponsor Li Wu, but she heard that he was in some trouble. Coincidentally, Li Xue knew where Li Wu's aunt lived, so she led the way for Sinjin. Li Xue praised Li Wu for being both well-behaved and talented. It was just a pity he had a money-hungry uncle. Upon arriving, Sinjin heard Li Wu's uncle scolding his nephew. He threw away all of Li Wu's books, so he would have no way to run away. He forced Li Wu to pay for room and board before being allowed to leave. Li Wu remembered that his uncle had kept all his wages. He was about to resist, but just then he heard Sinjin's voice. Li Wu hurriedly turned away, regaining his composure before daring to look at Sinjin. She explained that she used to sponsor Li Wu, so she wanted to speak with him privately for a moment. Entering the cramped but tidy room, Sinjin told Li Wu to wipe the blood from the corner of his mouth. She looked at the solar panel he had built himself. Because there was no electricity in the room, he had to figure out a way to have light to study. Sinjin asked Li Wu, "Do you still keep your grandfather's bank card?" She saw him glance towards his uncle and knew the answer immediately. Going outside, Sinjin questioned the aunt and uncle. "Why won't you let Li Wu take the university entrance exam?" The uncle said he was the only laborer left in the house. He had several mouths to feed, so how could he support a university student? Sinjin agreed to pay for all the exam review costs and university tuition. She believed Li Wu would certainly get into a good school and repay his aunt and uncle later. But the uncle didn't want to wait and force Li Wu to work to earn money. He advised Li Wu, "Don't dream of taking the university entrance exam." Sinjin was angry and asked to be excused for a moment. Secretary Chung chased after her and invited Sinjin to stay for the night. Because it was about to rain, the mountain road would be very slippery. Li Xue took Sinjin to stay temporarily in a room for primary school teachers. Sinjin looked at the door, missing a latch, and had to block it with tables and chairs. On the other side, Li Wu was diligently reading a book. Seeing it start to rain, he suddenly felt worried for Sinjin. He pulled out a wallet hidden under the bed to get money to buy some things. Meanwhile, the power went out in Sinjin's room. She turned on her phone flashlight just as Li Wu knocked on the door. He said there were many mosquitoes in the village, so he had bought some things for her. Sinjin invited Li Wu into the room to talk for a bit. He lit a candle, making the room feel warmer. Sinjin wondered why Li Wu sought her out. "Sinjin, I want to study and become successful, so I have the chance to repay the people who are good to me. I want to step out of these big mountains, so I have to try every possibility." "Li Wu, do you believe in fate?" "I only believe in myself. As long as we don't give up on ourselves, we can solve every problem." Li Wu left and discovered the door was missing a latch. He knew Sinjin would be scared, so he quietly stood guard outside, because that was the only thing he could do for her. At this time, early in the morning, Secretary Chung came to find Sinjin. She said that earlier she came and saw Li Wu guarding outside the door all night. She went back to get some food, but when she returned, she didn't see him anymore. She heard everyone say Li Wu's uncle forced him to go work in the mines. Meanwhile, Li Wu decided not to listen to his uncle. He saw his uncle hit his aunt, so he grabbed him by the collar. Just as Sinjin entered, Li Wu hurriedly let go. Sinjin declared she would take Li Wu to East City. She asked the uncle directly how much money he needed to agree to let the person go. Li Wu was supported by Sinjin's father, so she couldn't let him be trampled on. The uncle questioned Sinjin, asking if she was relying on having a little dirty money to plan on stealing a person. Sinjin said she had asked a lawyer to check the contract. She would take back the sponsorship money from the past year and simultaneously accuse him of misappropriating assets. Sinjin offered a price of 30,000 yuan, considering it the fee for raising Li Wu for 1 year. If he agreed to let him go, she wouldn't take back the sponsorship money anymore either. Sinjin heard the uncle agree and immediately urged Li Wu to pack his belongings. Entering the room, Sinjin wanted to hear Li Wu's opinion. She asked him if he agreed to go with her. "Sinjin, I promise I will pay you back the money." "Li Wu, pay it back with your university entrance exam scores. Okay?" Chasing after her nephew, Li Wu's aunt stuffed a little money into his hand. She urged him to go quickly and not to come back again. Li Wu felt sad and held the roll of money tightly in his hand. He asked Sinjin for permission to go to a place. Li Wu ran very fast up the mountain to visit his grandfather. He remembered his grandfather telling him he must study to become successful and not get stuck in these mountains. Li Wu bowed his head to say goodbye to his grandfather. He ran back very fast because he was afraid Sinjin would have to wait long. When he arrived, she had fallen asleep on the seat. He quietly stood blocking the car door to help her sleep better. Sinjin woke up and guessed Li Wu had been waiting for several hours. She urged Li Wu to get in the car, but he ran off to scrape the mud stuck to the soles of his shoes. She said her shoes were also dirty, so she would wash the car tomorrow. Looking at Li Wu's forehead covered in dirt, Sinjin gave him a tissue to wipe it, but seeing Li Wu fumbling, she removed the dirt stuck in his hair herself. Leaving the mountains for the first time, Li Wu's eyes were full of expectation. Finally arriving in the city, Sinjin asked Li Wu what he wanted to eat. He shyly said he wasn't hungry, but she was hungry, so she stopped at a supermarket to buy some things. Sinjin came back carrying a bag of pastries and urged Li Wu to eat quickly to avoid low blood sugar. Just then, Sinjin's mother called to ask if her daughter had moved out on her own, so she had to confess that she was preparing to divorce Wu Fu. She asked, "Does Dad still remember sponsoring a child in Yinfeng village? He had some trouble, so he missed the university entrance exam last year. I just brought him to the city so he can study again conveniently." Sinjin's mother questioned, "You are standing on the verge of divorce, yet you still have the mind to worry about other people's business?" Sinjin wondered. If she didn't care, then who would take care of Li Wu? He called, "Could you just let a kid fend for himself?" Li Wu saw Sinjin get in the car and hurriedly pretended not to hear anything. Back at the apartment, Sinjin saw Li Wu standing outside. He tried to wipe the soles of his shoes very clean before daring to step into the house. He changed into slippers and carefully placed his dirty shoes outside the door. Sinjin urged Li Wu to put his luggage down and sit to drink some water. He noticed she left her slippers off the rug. Just when Sinjin went out to get the food, Li Wu hurriedly placed his slippers neatly off the rug. Looking at the crispy fried chicken, Li Wu secretly swallowed his saliva. He waited for her to invite him before daring to taste it. It was his first time eating crispy chicken and French fries and drinking soda. Sinjin heard Li Wu studied natural sciences, so she wanted to find a good training school. Sinjin, just gonna go to school is already good enough for me. Sinjin hoped Li Wu would have higher standards for himself. She set a goal that he must at least get into one of the top 100 universities. Sinjin mentioned the phone call from earlier, which made Li Wu a bit tense. She said she was agitated, but it wasn't directed at him. "Li Wu, you're 19, so just call me sister from now on." Li Wu hesitated and stammered out, "Sister," taking Li Wu to his own room. Sinjin told him to get the blanket and pillow from the cabinet, and she would quickly clear out some cardboard boxes so he would have more space. She continued, leading him to the bathroom and showed him how to adjust the water temperature. She urged him to hurry and unpack his things so he could rest. Li Wu excitedly turned on the light and sat down to test the very soft sofa. Seeing Li Wu soaking wet, Sinjin brought him a bath towel and told him he had to dry his hair next time so he wouldn't catch a cold. In the middle of the night, Li Wu quietly went back to his room, but an upset stomach forced him to return to the restroom. Sinjin heard the water running constantly and guessed Li Wu had a stomachache from eating unfamiliar food. She knocked on the door and told him to come out and take some medicine. Li Wu didn't dare use Sinjin's cup, so he washed a coffee mug to hold his water. He tried not to make any loud noises to avoid disturbing her sleep. The next day, Sinjin came in and asked Li Wu if his stomach still hurt, and he was so tense that he dropped the book in his hand. She looked at the bedsheet spread on the sofa and realized she hadn't pulled the seat down. He hadn't expected the sofa could turn into a bed. Seeing Sinjin ordering food again, Li Wu stammered, "I can cook breakfast." She told him to feel free to show off his skills and just let her know if he needed anything. She praised his eyes for being very beautiful, saying perhaps he inherited them from his mother. He said his mother died early, so he didn't remember what she looked like. "Li Wu, from now on you can think of me as family. But Sinjin, I will definitely pay you back." While buying fruit, Sinjin caught Wu Fu walking side by side with another girl named Xiaoyu. She followed them into a restaurant, wondering why only the two of them were dining. Wu Fu asked Sinjin what exactly she wanted to say, but she suddenly lost her appetite and excused herself to leave. Chasing after Sinjin, Wu Fu said he was just inviting a partner to dinner, and she couldn't make the whole group take responsibility for her own emotions. "Princess, you need to step out of your greenhouse. The world doesn't just revolve around you. Wu Fu, you aren't the only one who lost a child, but I thought we would get through this difficult time together. Sinjin, I can't keep trying anymore. For years, I've always worked hard to erase the label of being a social climber. I also have to worry about your feelings and your parents' feelings too. Sinjin, I regret not leaving you sooner." Waiting for Sinjin to return, Li Wu saw that her eyes were red. Just then, Sinjin's father came to visit Li Wu. He brought a lot of food and some study materials. Meeting his daughter privately, Mr. Tsin announced that he had gotten Li Wu into Teacher Chi's class. In 2 days, Sinjin should take Li Wu there to enroll. He asked his daughter if she needed to rest for a few more days to recover her health. Sinjin tried to hold back her tears and said she might have to divorce Wu Fu. They had cracks in their relationship early on, and after losing their child, they argued even more. She thought she just needed to wait for Wu Fu to cool down, but she didn't expect him to have built up so much dissatisfaction. Mr. Tsin thought that marriage is a two-way choice, but Sinjin shouldn't deny her own worth because of this matter. Because life can't always be smooth. If a job isn't going well, you change it, and a painful marriage can also end. Before leaving, Mr. Tsin told the two of them to eat all the dumplings. He said if it was inconvenient for Li Wu, he could move in with him. Sinjin refused because her mother was still angry with her. Moreover, Li Wu will be starting school in a few days anyway. In 2024, Li Wu continuously rejected Sinjin's plans. Cheng Rue had to interrupt, saying he was looking forward to the next plan. The next day, Li Wu made everyone meet at 9 a.m. He remembered that in the afternoon, Cheng Rue was busy meeting clients, and he had to go to the laboratory. Hearing Cheng Rue ordering coffee, he asked him to buy 2 hot Americanos. In the meeting room, Cheng Rue invited everyone to have coffee. Sinjin didn't like cold drinks, so she chose a cup of hot Americano. She asked for permission to present some exhibition themes. Li Wu quietly watched Sinjin stroke her hair, exactly the same as in the old days. He intended to offer some opinions, but Cheng Rue finalized the plan right away. Sinjin suggested cross-checking the contract. Just then, a shareholder walked in. She was afraid something might change before the contract was signed, so she wanted to go back and confirm. In the meeting room, a co-investor named Mr. E questioned why they had to spend money on promotion and system upgrades. He thought they should make money right now, before making the company bigger and stronger. Li Wu believed the system had a lot of room for optimization. If the upgrade is successful, we can expand the market. Outside, the receptionist invited Sinjin to Director Li's office. She looked at a series of photos of Li Wu without knowing that her own picture was pasted behind him. Li Wu returned to his office and caught Sinjin holding that pen from years ago. She praised him for achieving so much right after graduating. He was truly very talented. Li Wu asked Sinjin, "Is there something you need?" She wondered, "When are we going to sign the contract?" Sinjin thought she had put a lot of effort into the project, so she wanted a fitting return. "Sinjin, just because you put in a lot doesn't guarantee a fitting return. Isn't that how a lot of things are?" Sinjin told Li Wu that if he was dissatisfied, she could withdraw from the project. Otherwise, she hoped for a happy cooperation in the future. Back at the company, Sinjin was afraid she was causing a disadvantage to the project. Shinjun advised her to think positively. Just then, the assistant reported that Tong Chun had just sent the contract. If there were no legal issues, it could be signed anytime. The next day, at the meeting, Li Wu didn't see Sinjin. He looked around searching for her, but didn't feel comfortable asking. Cheng Rue announced that from now on, General Manager Shun would be in charge of the project. After work, Sinjin thanked Dr. Liu for driving her home. She went inside and caught Li Wu standing there waiting for her. "Sinjin, you withdrew from the project. Do you hate seeing me that much?" "Li Wu, you've had too much to drink. If there's something to discuss, wait until you're sober tomorrow." Li Wu stepped forward and pinned Sinjin against the wall. "Sinjin, you haven't changed at all. You still don't give anyone a chance. You withdrew from the project on your own. Did you ask for my opinion? Or is it because I'm not important at all? Why is it that every time, the person deciding to leave or stay is you?" The longing suppressed for so long made it impossible for Li Wu to hold back anymore. In a moment of lost control, he bent down and stole a kiss, even though he knew he was forcing it. "Sister, it looks like you haven't been lonely these past few years, have you?" "Li Wu, people always have to live better lives." "Sister, I thought I would hear a different answer. It turns out the things that happened didn't affect you at all." But Li Wu didn't know that Sinjin tossed and turned all night. And he couldn't sleep either because of his impulsive action. 8 years ago, Li Wu got up early to cook breakfast. Sinjin finished eating and took charge of washing the dishes. She went in to remind him to only bring the exam papers with high scores over 120. She watched him filter through every page, so she just told him to bring them all. "Li Wu, let's go to school." Before meeting the teacher, Sinjin told Li Wu to be more confident. She asked, "Have you ever lied? For example, say you like math the most." "Sister, I like physics the most." Sinjin realized she shouldn't teach an honest boy to lie. Entering to meet Teacher Chi, Sinjin entrusted Li Wu to him. Teacher Chi said he relied on university entrance exam scores to assign classes. However, Li Wu didn't have a university entrance exam score, so he told Sinjin to handle the admission and dormitory procedures first. After that, the school would organize a proficiency test for Li Wu. Teacher Chi asked further about how Li Wu's math scores were. He thought they were just average, but said he really liked math. Outside, Sinjin questioned him. "Doesn't Li Wu like physics?" Li Wu thought that math was also a tool for researching physics. Sinjin wanted to take Li Wu to buy a few outfits to wear besides his uniform, because she didn't want his way of dressing to cause unnecessary gossip. Arriving at the fashion store, Sinjin chose some basic styles. Just then, she got a phone call, so she urged him to go change clothes. Li Wu looked at the price tag and could only sigh. He timidly came out, making an excuse that the other shirt didn't fit very well. Unexpectedly, she made him try on a jacket that was twice as expensive. Sinjin was very pleased and wanted to buy a pair of shoes too. The staff reported they were out of size 44, but size 43 was quite wide. Li Wu tried them on and pretended they fit very well. But as soon as Sinjin touched the toe of the shoe, he hurriedly pulled back. She told the staff to order size 44 and sent it to her. Li Wu heard Sinjin paying and could only look at the small amount of money in his hand. Arriving at the restaurant, Sinjin introduced her best friend, named Chun Chong. She complimented that eating with a red boy. It was truly a beautiful sight that made the food easier to swallow. Chun Chong thought Li Wu was blushing from shyness, but unexpectedly, he couldn't even breathe. Sinjin guessed Li Wu was allergic to seafood and hurriedly helped him to the hospital. Waiting for Li Wu to wake up, Sinjin asked him, "Did you know you were allergic to seafood? If not, You should have at least known your body felt uncomfortable. Chun Chong urged Sinjin to go buy medicine so the little brother could rest. Sinjin didn't understand why Li Wu refused to speak directly. The shoes were tight, yet he stayed silent. He had trouble breathing, yet he wouldn't open his mouth to complain. Chun Chong thought Li Wu was just too cautious and timid because he had no relatives left and could only rely on Sinjin. No one had ever taught Li Wu to voice his needs, and no one had ever been as good to him as Sinjin. Because Li Wu valued Sinjin too much, he was even more reserved. Returning to visit Li Wu, Sinjin hoped he would accept her care. She would have to go back to work soon, so she wouldn't have much time to look after him. Therefore, she wanted him to quickly adapt to life here. Sinjin saw Li Wu looking at the 4-drip and guessed he needed to use the restroom. As she helped him carry the 4-drip, she accidentally saw Xing Yu getting a prenatal checkup. The doctor even diagnosed that she had been pregnant for a few weeks. Li Wu knew Sinjin didn't want to show her face, so he hurriedly shielded her. Back home, Sinjin told Li Wu to take his allergy medicine. She had bought a separate cup for him, so he didn't need to use the coffee mug anymore. Sinjin saw Li Wu still keeping his things outside and urged him to organize them inside the cabinet, calling Li Wu out to the living room. Sinjin shared her likes and dislikes. She thought since they had never lived together, they could understand each other this way. Li Wu held the pen, but didn't know how to write, because before, no one had ever asked him what he liked. Sinjin knew Li Wu was allergic to seafood and told him to gradually add to the list later. She handed him a phone, but he didn't dare to accept it. She explained that this was just her old phone. Moreover, when he was at school, he wouldn't need to borrow other people's phones. She told him to try calling her number. She went into her room to answer the phone and asked him if he was still angry about what happened to the hospital. Sister, I'm not angry. Li Wu, tomorrow will be a new beginning. Just feel free to run. On the way to school, Li Wu took the opportunity to study. Sinjin remembered that he didn't have to take the university entrance exam tomorrow. She transferred 2,000 yuan to him just in case he needed it. Sister, I already have a meal card. Sinjin thought Li Wu had to buy school supplies. Besides, occasionally he could improve his meals. Entering the messy dormitory, Sinjin quickly tidied up. Li Wu also joined his sister in refurbishing his small corner. Sinjin wanted to invite his roommates to dinner, but Li Wu felt it was a bit bothersome. Arriving at the canteen, Sinjin told Li Wu to measure his height and weight so she could order uniforms on the parents group chat. She asked, "Don't you think I look like a parent? If so, I'll let Dad be the parent." Li Wu was startled and didn't dare to trouble Mr. Sin. Before leaving, Sinjin promised Li Wu she would come back to visit him after he finished the proficiency test. Sister, I didn't accept the 2,000 yuan from this morning. Later, if I need it, I will ask to borrow from you. Li Wu listened to Sinjin and ran freely towards the front. Thanks to her, he could now go to school like everyone else. Back at the dormitory, Li Wu got to know his roommates. Cheng Rui introduced himself and a friend named Lin Honglang. The remaining friend named Ran Feiqi also came to greet Li Wu. Cheng Rui said the whole grade had a total of 6 classes, among which class number 1 was full of top students retaking exams to get into Tsinghua. He and Feiqi were in class number 3, while Honglang was in class number 4. Waiting for Li Wu to finish the exam, Sinjin asked him how he did. Li Wu said he was in class number 3, not getting into the best select class. Sinjin thought that since Li Wu had interrupted his studies, he needed to regain his rhythm before he could make a leap. Sinjin gave Li Wu an electronic watch. She guessed that while studying, he wouldn't be allowed to use a phone to check the time. Li Wu, take good care of yourself. I'm assigning an extra mission. You must gain 10 more gene, approximate 5 kilograms. Sister, I will try. Studying late. Li Wu heard the alarm reminding him to eat. He wanted to call Sinjin, but just then his friends returned to the dormitory. He settled for texting her that the watch was very useful. He said he had just eaten dinner and his friends were quite nice. Hearing that she was going to work tomorrow, he wished everything would go smoothly. Returning to the company, Sinjin invited everyone for coffee. She went in to congratulate Director Gu on deploying the Sia project. Director Gu praised Wu Fu for being very meticulous, truly a match made in heaven with Sinjin. He had just been promoted to director and hoped she would coordinate well. On this side, Li Wu timidly entered his new class. He remembered Sinjin's words and confidently introduced himself. The teacher saw Li Wu was tall, so she assigned him to sit at the back of the class. Li Wu quickly settled down to catch up with the lecture. Meeting up with Sinjin, Wu Fu urged her to read the divorce agreement. He knew the house in Mu Yunli belonged to her premarital assets. He had paid the deposit for the current house, so he would temporarily keep it. Sinjin wondered, why is Wu Fu in such a hurry to divorce? Sinjin, are we still happily living together? Until midnight, Li Wu was still diligently reviewing his lessons, but since it affected his friends, he had to turn off the light and go to sleep. In 2024, Li Wu was dragged along to entertain guests. Mister, He introduced the technology director as Tong Chen's ace card. Chung Rue didn't expect Mr. E to be able to drag Li Wu to these social gatherings. Late at night, Sinjin heard someone unlocking her electronic door lock. She looked through the peephole. It turned out to be a drunk Li Wu. Sinjin opened the door and asked Li Wu why he came here. He let out a sigh of relief and then collapsed onto her. Sinjin helped Li Wu into the house and laid him down on the sofa. She woke him up to drink water and told him to wait while she got a warm towel. Sinjin, don't go. Li Wu pulled Sinjin into his embrace, his voice choking up as if begging her not to leave him. The drunkenness in his body made the love mixed with longing become frantic, pushing him into reckless action. His kiss was so intense that she couldn't escape. Even so, Li Wu still tried to suppress the rising desire, because mixed with love, he also harbored resentment. Sinjin was startled and hurriedly pushed Li Wu away. 8 years ago, all his friends went home for the weekend. Li Wu stayed in the dormitory, but didn't dare call Sinjin. Just then, she contacted him and urged him to quickly come out to the main gate. She knew he had the weekend off, so she came to pick him up to go home. Li Wu happily ran very fast down to meet Sinjin. Sinjin looked at Li Wu's shy face and guessed immediately that he didn't do well on the exam. Sister, I didn't make it into the top 30 of the whole grade. Sinjin told Li Wu that if he wasn't comfortable at school, he must tell her. She handed him the menu to help her choose. Arriving at the restaurant, Sinjin praised the food as delicious. But Li Wu was still so tense that he choked on his rice. As soon as they got in the car, Sinjin received a call from Chun Chong. She reported that Wu Fu was with someone else. Li Wu wanted to go with Sinjin, but she urged him to go home first. Following the location Chun Chong sent, Sinjin witnessed with her own eyes the scene of Wu Fu cheating. That moment made her heart ache sharply, because also at this place, she was once so happy she thought she would be peaceful with him for a lifetime. A hand suddenly covered Sinjin's line of sight. She turned back and met Li Wu's worried gaze. He stepped forward, using his back to shield her from having to see any more of that painful sight, before turning back to glare at the terrible man betraying her. Back home, Sinjin drank alcohol to drown her sorrows with Chun Chong. She used to blame herself, never expecting Wu Fu to cheat. She blamed herself for being naive. Thinking she had found true love, she decided from now on she would live a new life. Waking up early in the morning, Sinjin saw that Li Wu had finished cooking porridge. He heard that rice porridge was good for people with hangovers. Sinjin asked if Li Wu's uncle caused trouble with him every time he drank. Li Wu said at most they just argued a few sentences. But if his uncle caused trouble outside, people would come to settle the score, and at that time he would fight back because he used to endure silently, feeling both heartache and pain from his wounds. Li Wu's words made Sinjin wake up to reality. She stormed into Wu Fu's house and recorded all the evidence of his affair. They had even finished decorating the baby's room. Wu Fu, we haven't even divorced yet, and you dare to bring your mistress to live in our marital home. Do you despise me, or do you not fear the law? If you betray me, don't act like a victim. While I blame myself for losing our child, you already had another one. Wu Fu, leave with nothing, or else I will sue you to the end. Going down to the apartment complex, Sinjin saw Li Wu waiting for her. Li Wu, let's go home. Arriving at the front door, Sinjin changed the lock password to today's date. She told Li Wu that if she was busy with work on any weekend, he should come home by himself. He tried to suppress his emotions because he was allowed to consider this place home. In 2024, Li Wu woke up in a hotel. He remembered that last night, while drunk, he had barged into Sinjin's house. He was afraid the kiss only existed in a dream, so he called the receptionist to confirm. Unexpectedly, Sinjin had actually brought him here. Back at the company, Li Wu was confused looking at Sinjin's citizen ID card. Just then, the hotel receptionist called to report that Sinjin wanted to get her ID back. She didn't find it convenient to contact him, so she asked the hotel to bring it over. Li Wu texted, forcing Sinjin to come and get the ID herself. She really wanted to ask clearly about the hatred in his heart, but didn't know how to start. Late into the night, Sinjin still hadn't texted back. Li Wu sulked and turned off the light to sleep. But he didn't know that she still kept all of his belongings. Every single memento was filled with beautiful memories. After drawing a clear line with Wu Fu 8 years ago, Sinjin decided to resign from her job. Chun Chong congratulated her best friend on her rebirth like a nirvana, just as Li Wu reported that he had just received his uniform. She urged him to ask a friend to take a picture and send it to her. Chun Chong praised Li Wu's natural beauty, saying it was definitely worth setting as a wallpaper. On this side, receiving Sinjin's compliment, Li Wu's cheeks blushed, and he decided to set it as his profile picture. Li Wu wanted to meet Sinjin on the weekend, but was shy to ask. He only texted to report that he had a monthly exam today. She guessed that after the exam, he would have time off, so she promised to pick him up tonight. Back home, Sinjin wanted Li Wu to relax after the exam. She knew he hadn't used the TV before, so she turned on the Happy Meal show. Unexpectedly, he immersed himself in the entertainment world so much that he didn't hear her call him. Li Wu carelessly touched Sinjin's hand lightly, causing his tender heart to tremble slightly. Seeing Li Wu eat a lot, but only gain a mere half a jean, she wondered how much money he had spent on his meal card. Li Wu remembered precisely, a total of 326 yuan and 90 cents. Sinjin calculated that Li Wu spent 100 yuan each week. Did he just eat plain white rice? Li Wu, I didn't force you to save money. In front of me, you eat a lot, but back at school, do you eat miserably? Sinjin, you also eat very little. Sinjin had to try to finish her bowl of rice to set an example for her little brother. She demanded that he must spend 300 yuan every week. Meeting Sinjin to sign the divorce agreement, Wu Fu praised her for looking very beautiful today. Sinjin thanked him, but said she was beautiful every day. She promised that the next time they met, she would be his competitor. Wu Fu chased after her, wanting to return the expensive gifts she had given him, but Sinjin didn't need them and asked Wu Fu to throw them away. Finally, Sinjin ended her failed marriage, and her heart suddenly felt strangely peaceful. On this side, Li Wu received a notification about Sinjin's birthday. He counted his savings to buy her a gift. Just then, Wu Fu brought some things for Sinjin. Li Wu opened the door and said he'd come to the city to attend boarding school. He didn't let Wu Fu in because Sinjin wasn't home. Wu Fu guessed Li Wu blamed him for not helping, but he thought he had no obligation, and Sinjin was just kinder. Wu Fu, are you taking advantage of Sinjin's kindness to bully her? Wu Fu praised Sinjin for daring to let a child stand up for her. Wu Fu, I'm not a child anymore. If you don't believe me, just try me. Back home, Sinjin saw Li Wu still studying. She made him turn on the light, saying he didn't need to save electricity for her. Sinjin looked at the box of things on the table, then turned to ask Li Wu. He hurriedly backed away, stammering that he didn't let that guy into the house. Sinjin carried the box outside and threw it straight into the trash can. Li Wu hurriedly went to the fridge and brought out a small cake. Sinjin, happy birthday. Sinjin corrected him that her birthday had passed. She often filled in random information on membership cards, so they texted birthday wishes on the wrong date. However, she wanted to consider today as the day she was reborn. Li Wu remembered that on her list, Sinjin wrote she liked mango flavor. Sister, I wish you more and more happiness. Li Wu's love for her wasn't in vain. Starting the new school week, the teacher announced that Li Wu scored 97 in physics. If placed in a select class, he would also be ranked high. Waiting for break time, Li Wu asked Cheng Rue to check the school-wide rankings. He felt a bit let down because he still hadn't made it into the top 30. Cheng Rue thought Li Wu had only been studying for a month and was already leading their class. Before going to sleep, Li Wu read Sinjin's new post. She declared her freedom and welcomed her new life. He also hoped he could be a part of her beautiful world. After a day of studying, Li Wu buried his head in reviewing again. Only Sinjin's text messages could make him smile. Meeting Li Wu at a noodle shop, Sinjin asked him why he hadn't announced his exam scores. Sister, I didn't do well. Sinjin looked at the sky-high scores and wondered if Li Wu wanted them even higher. She asked for the transcript to paste into her life notebook. She wanted to remember the first time his exams went smoothly. Li Wu, you did very well. Sinjin apologized because her mood had been a bit bad lately. She didn't have a younger brother or sister, so she didn't understand the thoughts of young people. So she hoped Li Wu would share whatever he was thinking with her. Li Wu stammered, Please, Sinjin, stop treating me like a child. Back at the school gate, Sinjin gave Li Wu salted egg yolk lotus paste cakes and a new pair of shoes. She urged him to go to class so he wouldn't miss the evening self-study session. The next day, Sinjin went to join AO Xing Media Company. The boss named Shui had heard her reputation for a long time and only now had the chance to collaborate. He set a date after the National Day holiday to welcome her to work. On this side, Li Wu received a call from his aunt. He hurriedly texted Sinjin, reporting that his aunt had sprained her back. His uncle was working outside, so there was no one to harvest the tea. He planned to catch a bus to Yunfeng tomorrow morning, so he wouldn't come home for the holiday anymore. Early in the morning, Sinjin came to pick up Li Wu. She scolded him for still treating her like an outsider by not asking her to drive him to Yunfeng. He explained, I didn't want to affect your new job. She begged him not to be so sensible. On the winding mountain road, Li Wu acted as a support for Sinjin. Afraid her back would hurt, he urged her to rest. Sinjin also wanted to help, but didn't know how. Li Wu told Sinjin to go up to the bank to cool off and let him harvest the tea. But she put on a hat and wanted to try it out. Li Wu worked while guiding Sinjin. She wanted to record the peaceful scene, which included his figure. In 2024, Li Wu collaborated with Yi Yang's research lab. He accidentally met Chun Chang again, who was being caught red-handed two-timing. She apologized because she didn't know who to choose. Chun Chong met Li Wu again and immediately blamed him for not contacting her for so many years. She intended to greet the new friend, but carelessly spilled water on Yang. He didn't demand laundry fees because he had just watched a good show earlier. Chun Chong explained that her mother arranged a dense schedule of blind dates. Just then, Chung Rui called to report that Sinjin came to find Li Wu. He asked for permission to leave first and asked Yang to talk to Chun Chong. Meanwhile, Chung Rui made tea to invite Sinjin. He looked at the bottle of medicine on the table, then deliberately blamed his best friend for being messy. Sinjin wondered, does Li Wu take sedatives? Chung Rui said, he has both insomnia and migraines. The doctor advised him to rest, but Li Wu worked desperately. Chung Rui remembered when they first went to America, Li Wu's mood was very bad. He always locked himself in the house and wouldn't sleep. After that, Li Wu pulled himself together and buried his head in the library. Even when he caught the flu, he didn't neglect his studies. Before graduating, Li Wu did an internship and started a business at the same time. Because he worked so desperately, he was continuously featured in technology magazines. But few people knew Li Wu's headaches were getting more and more serious. Hearing that Sinjin had left, Li Wu felt a bit let down. However, she suddenly called his name. Li Wu slowly stepped forward to face the girl he loved. Arriving at the coffee shop, Li Wu returned the citizen ID card to Sinjin. She heard him bring up what happened that night again, and immediately said she clearly distinguished between being drunk and being real. Sinjin thought she owed Li Wu an apology because she hadn't handled the matter from years ago satisfactorily. Sinjin, have you ever regretted it? Li Wu, I don't regret it, because at that time you had to go. Li Wu, insomnia will affect your health a lot. If you are willing, I'll take you for a checkup. Sinjin, do you care about me? During the severe pandemic years, you never contacted me once. Li Wu, I'm not justifying anything. But now that I can help, I won't leave you alone. Li Wu, can't we reconcile? Just then, Chung Rui urged Li Wu to come back for a meeting. And Sinjin told Li Wu to remember to accept her WeChat friend request. In 2016, Sinjin went to the company to work. A designer named Lu Tong recognized the new creative director. She took the boss around to see A.O. Xing's open workspace. The boss waited for Sinjin to arrive and then urged everyone to start the meeting. Shui introduced Sinjin as the new creative director. He shared the good news that the company won the festival promotion project for Rinshire Food. Since Sinjin had collaborated with him before, he gave her full authority to be in charge. Knowing it was Sinjin's first day of work, Li Wu took the initiative to text her. Sinjin saw Li Wu ask what time she went to work and teased him for copying her. He confessed he wanted to ask if she was used to the new job yet, but didn't know how to say it properly. Sinjin remembered Li Wu was about to take an English exam, so she promised to tell a foreign story tomorrow. Sister, thank you. Li Wu was moved. He didn't expect Sinjin to set his photo as the chat wallpaper. The next day, Li Wu received a package sent by Sinjin. Inside was a magic tool to help him practice English listening. In the small recorder, her voice gently read the story of the ugly duckling. After listening, Li Wu immediately went to the library to find and read that storybook. Sinjin's subtle and warm care gradually lit up Li Wu's world. He loved life more and more and loved the days with her presence. In 2024, Li Wu received a friend request from Sinjin. At first, he planned to wait until tomorrow to respond, but in the end, he couldn't hold back and accepted it immediately. She asked him to arrange a time to go see the doctor. Passing by an old lady selling flowers, Yang bought all the remaining bouquets. He scanned the code to pay, but Chun Chong unexpectedly paid with cash. She said the payment code was connected to the sun, so the old lady wouldn't receive the money. She forced him to add her on WeChat to pay her back. Just then, Yang's colleague passed by and urged him to go have a few drinks. Chun Chong saw Yang was hesitant to refuse, so she pretended to be his girlfriend. Yang thanked Chun Chong for helping him out. He finally agreed to add her on WeChat. Chun Chong tried to buy Yang a drink, but he had to go home to sleep early. Driving to the bottom of Sun Jin's apartment building, Li Wu wanted to have a really good sleep. He woke up, and it was already nearly 8 a.m. Just then Sinjin called. He deliberately acted cool for a few seconds before answering. She reported she booked an appointment for this morning. We can arrive early to ask the doctor more thoroughly. Sinjin, are you going with me? However, I'll lend my car to Chung Rui already. Sinjin promised to come pick Li Wu up in a bit. He hurriedly hung up to rush home really fast to get ready. He wanted to choose the most suitable outfit, but she was already waiting downstairs. Meeting Dr. Lu, Li Wu said he had headaches for over 5 years. He had to use level 2 painkillers to have any effect. Dr. Lu suggested Li Wu get an MRI scan and some other tests. Sinjin took the opportunity to return the jacket to Dr. Lu. Li Wu just now realized Dr. Lu was the one who took a photo with Sinjin. He didn't want to bother Dr. Lu anymore because he could go for the checkup himself. Driving Li Wu back to the company, Sinjin reminded him to remember to go get the test results. Li Wu asked Sinjin if she was busy on Saturday. She remembered that she would go visit her parents that day. On the weekend, Sinjin went home to eat dinner. Unexpectedly, Li Wu was also present. He remembered we had reconciled, so he could come visit Uncle and Auntie. During the meal, Mrs. Tsin welcomed Xiao Wu back. She told him whatever he wanted to eat. Just text Auntie. Li Wu promised to visit everyone often from now on. Mr. Tsin praised Li Wu's environmental protection artificial intelligence idea as truly very valuable. Mrs. Tsin stopped the uncle and nephew from discussing work. He must nourish himself and stabilize first. Hearing Li Wu was still staying at a hotel, Mrs. Tsin urged Sinjin to take him to find a house. Li Wu was afraid of bothering his sister, but agreed to go see some right away. Arriving at one apartment, Sinjin criticized the lighting as not good. She went to another one and discovered a leak. The broker had to lead them to the most beautiful corner unit in the apartment complex. Sinjin was quite pleased. Just when she heard the sound of drilling from the neighbor's side, the broker pointed out there was only one apartment left in the apartment complex next door. Li Wu was afraid it was inconvenient and thought he should still stay at the hotel first. The broker argued that you can't cook in a hotel, and with many people coming and going causing insomnia, only a stable home helps people eat well and sleep peacefully. Sinjin let Li Wu decide for himself, and then excused herself to go back to the apartment opposite. The broker waited for Sinjin to enter her house before daring to demand more money for acting. The next day, Li Wu immediately moved into the new house. Chun Chong was certain that Sinjin had fallen for the little brother's scheme. Sinjin knew Li Wu was even worse. He also knew how to pretend to be pitiful. Just then, Li Wu came over to borrow Sinjin's car. Because his car was restricted from circulation based on license plates, but he needed to go buy some things. Chun Chong guessed Li Wu wasn't familiar with this place yet, so she urged Sinjin to escort him. He didn't wait for Sinjin to agree and immediately ran back to change his shoes. Arriving at the furniture store, Li Wu wasn't pleased with any mattress models. He asked what mattress he slept on at Sinjin's house before, because for all these years, he only slept well on that bed. Just then, a staff member came to introduce the newest double mattress model. The husband and wife could lie down together to feel it. Li Wu hurriedly corrected that he was only buying a mattress for one person. Passing by the movie theater, Li Wu recognized a movie he once watched with Sinjin. She remembered it happened a long time ago, and now many things had changed. But he thought that many things hadn't changed at all. Sinjin, you have always been the most important person to me. When I went abroad, I thought forever and couldn't understand why we had to part ways. But later I gradually understood you just wanted me to see a wider sky. Perhaps it is time for me to let go and live really well. Li Wu saw a ball flying towards Sinjin, so he hurriedly reached out to pull her close to him. Back home, he rewatched the movie from years ago by himself, just a wall apart. She was also following that love story. In 2016, Li Wu stayed up late reviewing. He heard the dormitory inspection noise and hurriedly turned off the light to sleep. But Feiqi was worried Cheng Rui hadn't returned yet. Committing another offense could lead to expulsion. Honglang urged Li Wu to quickly stuff a pillow into his blanket. Just when the teacher opened the door, Li Wu had to climb onto Cheng Rui's bed. He claimed to be Cheng Rui and reported that Li Wu was absent. Honglang praised Li Wu for being loyal, surely making Cheng Rui move to tears. The next day, Sinjin heard Teacher Chi report that Li Wu didn't return to school all night. She immediately went to school to ask him where exactly he went. Li Wu said he went home, but she was busy working overtime. When he slept, she hadn't returned, and this morning she hadn't woken up before he left. Meeting Li Wu privately, Sinjin asked if he didn't intend to tell the truth. Li Wu had to confess he took the blame for his roommate. Sinjin knew Li Wu considered that very loyal, but he spent so much effort to get the chance to study again. She could lie, but she couldn't help him pass the university entrance exam. Li Wu watched Sinjin angrily stroking her hair, thinking it was also really cute. She heard the bell ring, so she had to urge him to quickly go into class. Entering to meet Teacher Chi, Sinjin believed Li Wu took the blame for his friend, because outside of school and home, he didn't know any other place. But Sinjin was worried Li Wu had just left the mountains and was easily tempted. So she asked the teacher to change his dormitory room. Teacher Chi thought the students might be mischievous, but were all obedient. Moreover, Li Wu was extremely sensible and wouldn't easily succumb to temptation. Excessive control is sometimes not good for young people. After being lectured by Teacher Chi, Cheng Rui blamed himself for misjudging the person. He thought Li Wu was loyal, but unexpectedly he betrayed him. Li Wu's family member even criticized him. So she asked Teacher Chi to change the dormitory. Li Wu chased after Cheng Rui, forcing his friend to speak more clearly. Cheng Rui thanked Li Wu for turning him into the type who dares to do, but doesn't dare to admit. Just then, A classmate reported that Cheng Rui's father came to find his son. Hongling watched Cheng Rui get beaten and immediately asked Li Wu if he was satisfied yet. Waiting for Li Wu to finish the exam, Sinjin came to pick him up to go home. She asked about the exam, but he remained silent the whole way. Back home, Li Wu didn't want to eat dinner. Sinjin wondered, did I make him angry? Li Wu asked her, did you ask Teacher Chi to change the dormitory for me? Hearing her admit it, he immediately stormed into his room. Sinjin chased after him, forcing Li Wu to speak clearly. I clarify that I voluntarily took the blame for my friend, but you think I was influenced by them to learn how to lie. Sinjin, didn't you tell me to blend in with everyone? After arguing with Li Wu, Sinjin left home. She didn't want to see Li Wu, but she was afraid he had nowhere to go. Chun Chong was afraid Li Wu finding Sinjin would affect his studies. Sure enough, as soon as she finished speaking, Li Wu called Sinjin. But Sinjin didn't answer because her anger hadn't cooled down yet. Chun Chong praised Li Wu for being persistent. He could call dozens of times. Each call was spaced exactly 1 minute apart. Li Wu couldn't contact Sinjin, so he had to call Chun Chong. However, Sinjin didn't let her friend answer the phone. Chun Chong secretly texted to report that Sinjin was at her place, so Li Wu would worry less. The next day, Sinjin finally agreed to go home. However, Li Wu had already left. He left behind the phone along with a promise to study hard. During PE class, Li Wu separated from Cheng Rui's group. He stood in the last row, so he had to go get the volleyballs for the whole class. A classmate pretended his hand slipped and threw the ball right at Li Wu. Seeing him endure it, they pushed their luck even further. Li Wu resisting made them even more excited. Just then, the top student of class number 1, named Tao Wan, questioned who dared to commit school violence. She introduced herself as friends with Cheng Rui. She thought Li Wu being ostracized was more or less related to her. Meeting Cheng Rui, Wan asked if he was about to become a thug. Cheng Rui clarified that Fatty Zhang's group was just venting anger on his behalf. Li Wu didn't report to Teacher Chi but tattled to his family. Wan heard Teacher Chi say Li Wu had no family. He only relied on an older sister who sponsored him years ago, so Li Wu couldn't lie. By the weekend, Li Wu didn't dare to go home anymore. He ran out to the gate but didn't see his sister picking him up. On this side, Sin Jin's company organized a party to welcome new personnel. She heard the alarm to pick up Li Wu and intended to turn around to leave, just when Lu Tong came out and pulled the main character into the party. Meanwhile, Li Wu was still standing and waiting outside the school gate. The security guard urged him to go in quickly so he could close the gate. The next day, Sin Jin went to Bay AO Automobile Company to ask for a chance to participate in the bid. Manager Chun said Bay AO only selected partners from the supplier list, but he appreciated Sin Jin, so he gave her a chance to complete the proposal in 2 weeks. After that, Bay AO would base on actual ability to select the media unit for the new car line launch activity. On the way back, Sin Jin received news from the school medical room. The doctor said Li Wu had a fever of over 39 degrees. Family members should take him for an 4 drip to recover quickly. Sin Jin urged Li Wu to put on a jacket and then go to the hospital. While queuing to register for the checkup, Sin Jin reminded a man who cut in line. Li Wu saw him intending to cause trouble, so he immediately stepped in to block him in front of Sin Jin. She chased him back to his seat to wait for the 4 drip. Hearing Sin Jin ask for leave from work, Li Wu felt guilty. She guessed he hadn't eaten yet, so she ran to buy some food. Li Wu secretly made the 4 drip flow faster. He discovered she left her phone in his jacket pocket. He was shy to speak, so he texted to apologize to her. Back at the hospital, Sin Jin urged Li Wu to eat noodles quickly. Sister, are you still angry with me? Li Wu saw Sin Jin smile and finally breathed a sigh of relief. He felt whatever he ate tasted more delicious. Back at the dormitory, Li Wu was still not welcomed. He went out to wash his shoes just when he met Fatty Zhang's group. He asked if Li Wu bought fakes or played tricks to get branded shoes. Li Wu tried to endure, but Fatty Zhang threw the shoes on the ground. Hearing him demand to pick them up, Fatty Zhang became even more arrogant. Li Wu reached his limit and rushed in to hit Fatty Zhang. Just then, Cheng Rui came in to help Li Wu stand up. He told Fatty Zhang not to use him as a shield to take personal revenge on Li Wu. As a result, the whole group fighting was dragged down to Teacher Chi's office. Cheng Rui saw Li Wu didn't explain a single word, so he accused Fatty Zhang of bullying first. Just when Sin Jin arrived and heard Fatty Zhang's mother defending her son, Yang was also invited to attend the parent meeting for his nephew. Teacher Chi had investigated the situation and found out that Zhang Jiaqi and Gao Yichang had recently been bullying Li Wu continuously. Fatty Zhang's mother thought there must be a reason why the whole class ostracized Li Wu. Sin Jin wondered how a parent with an attitude like Fatty Zhang's mother would teach her child. She forced Li Wu to hold his head high because he did nothing wrong. She said she brought him here to study, not to be bullied by people. The wounds on Li Wu's face were enough for an injury assessment. Moreover, cameras were installed all around the school along with statements from other students. If the bullies didn't apologize to Li Wu, she would report it to the police. Dragging Li Wu back to class, Sinjin declared that whoever dared to bully her brother, she would pursue responsibility to the end. Cheng Rue didn't expect Li Wu's sister to be so cool. Sinjin apologized to teacher Chi because she was a bit agitated, but she really couldn't stand it when she saw her brother being bullied. She didn't know that for half a month, Li Wu had to endure so many grievances. From childhood to adulthood, he had suffered too much. Now, coming to the city, he still had to endure others. After announcing the monthly exam results, Li Wu continued to rise in rank. He was about to catch up with class number 1, ranking 40th in the whole grade. Cheng Rue's group timidly called Li Wu outside to talk. Cheng Rue apologized for misunderstanding and unintentionally causing a lot of trouble for his friend. Li Wu didn't blame them and even thanked everyone for speaking up to help him with teacher Chi. Cheng Rue invited friends to eat dinner to become good brothers again. In 2024, Li Wu invited a junior named Lin Shui to join the company. He praised that back in the US, Lin Shui studied very well. Hearing she graduated, he immediately invited her to work for Tong Chun. Mr. Yi took the opportunity to remind the two friends to arrange to meet investors tonight. During the meal, Director Chin praised the environmental protection artificial intelligence idea as very good. But he thought Tong Chun should control research costs. We should focus on sales promotion instead of chasing new technology. Li Wu explained that the artificial intelligence race is very fierce. If Tong Chun is satisfied with the present, it will quickly be eliminated by competitors. Tong Chun continuously innovates to ensure sustainable development. Returning home, Li Wu coincidentally met Sinjin in the elevator. But Dr. Liu also followed, even carrying a lot of fruit for Sinjin. Li Wu wondered why the two of them came back together. Dr. Liu said, "Sinjin invited me to dinner. I took the opportunity to bring some strawberries for her." Li Wu introduced that he lived right opposite Sinjin's house. He deliberately unlocked his door very slowly to wait for Dr. Liu to leave. However, Sinjin closed the door tightly. Li Wu wanted to barge in, but didn't know what status he had to do so, because there were too many strawberries. Dr. Liu conveniently made jam to help Sinjin. She didn't expect that he was good at surgery and also knew how to cook. In the apartment opposite, Li Wu was restless. He finally waited until Dr. Liu left. Unexpectedly, he carelessly pressed the call button to Sinjin. He had to use the excuse of reminding her to take him for a re-examination. Li Wu watched Sinjin see Dr. Liu off, then went out to eavesdrop. Just when the elevator door opened, he spun around once to regain his composure. He said his house was out of purified water, so he borrowed a few bottles from her. Sinjin got water for Li Wu and also praised Dr. Liu for making very fragrant jam. He remembered she liked sour things. Would she be used to sweet jam? She guessed her taste buds changed, so she felt it was quite delicious. On this side, Chun Chang was inspired to conquer Eong. She deliberately joined the travel group posted on his timeline. She introduced herself as not only knowing him, but having chatted with him twice. Sitting around the fire, Chun Chang wanted to provide a free activity room for the travel group. However, she wanted to understand everyone more. Chun Chang asked Eong directly, "Are you still single?" Everyone around testified that Eong had never had a relationship. Chun Chang continued to wonder why Eong hadn't accepted her friend request yet. Because he said he wasn't used to making friends with strangers, she went to the trouble of becoming someone familiar to him. After agreeing to be friends, Eong looked at Chun Chang's timeline. Just as she came out, he hurriedly flipped his phone face down. He used the excuse of being sleepy to crawl straight into his tent. At the hospital, Dr. Liu diagnosed that the patent foramen ovale in Li Wu's chest had not closed. People born like this are prone to migraines, especially if subjected to great stimulation. The disease will flare up more easily. Sinjin was worried and carefully noted down every instruction. Dr. Liu acknowledged that Sinjin was very good to Li Wu. He took the opportunity to remind her to remember to come to the archery club this weekend. Li Wu showed interest and asked for permission to join. On the way back, Sinjin wanted to buy a pill organizer for Li Wu. She was afraid if he was busy, he would forget to take his medicine. She wondered since when did he like archery? He pretended he had always been interested, but never had the chance to learn. She told him to pull over at the pharmacy on the side of the road, and then catch a taxi home himself. In 2016, Sinjin couldn't find any creative ideas. She thought that to win the bid for the big car company's exhibition, she had to be more breakthrough than the competitors. Just then, Li Wu reported that he had caught a taxi home himself. Waiting for Sinjin to return, Li Wu placed the scorecard ready on the table. He jumped up 20 ranks, but still hadn't made it into the top 30. Sinjin told Li Wu not to improve too fast, or else she wouldn't know how to praise him. Li Wu guessed she had eaten dinner already, so he only prepared fruit. Sinjin thought Li Wu was also a man, so he should give her some inspiration about off-road vehicles. But Li Wu didn't know how to drive. He hadn't even thought about buying a car. Sinjin gently patted Li Wu's head and urged him to rest early. To find inspiration, Sinjin took Li Wu to a science exhibition. Both tried games like simulation cycling or virtual plane piloting. Every time, Sinjin accidentally touched Li Wu. His heart trembled slightly. Sometimes he was so tense, he felt like his heart was about to jump out of his chest. Li Wu understood that what he felt for Sinjin was no longer simply gratitude. It was a deep emotion difficult to describe in words. Passing by a little girl playing musical notes, Sinjin offered to play along. The little girl's mother was Shinjun. She thanked Sinjin for playing with her child. She wanted to add WeChat friends to send the video to Sinjin. Returning to meet Li Wu, Sinjin heard he was very interested in artificial intelligence. He believed it could protect the environment and water sources, and even change the way humans live. Sinjin suddenly came up with an idea, emphasizing the theme of high technology changing lives. The next day at the company, Sinjin guessed that everyone hadn't had new ideas yet. She asked to present a bold plan, replacing the simple commercial performance with a short promotional film. However, the assistant reported that Bay AO Automobile only allowed an online meeting. They seemed to have appointed Wu Fu from Yisang Company to be in charge of this activity. Unless Sinjin bypassed Manager Chun and persuaded the general manager in charge of promotion of Bay AO Automobile. Sinjin looked at the profile and recognized the little girl's mother from the other day. Checking Shunjun's posts, Sinjin discovered she often visited a coffee shop. She sat waiting and sure enough met Shunjun. Sinjin introduced herself as the creative director of AO Xing. Her side was bidding for the Bay AO car promotion project. Shunjun had heard of Sinjin's reputation, but didn't know anything about AO Xing. Sinjin understood Shunjun's concerns because AO Xing had not been established for long. However, she was very confident in AO Xing's team and creative plan. Shunjun agreed to add AO Xing to the list, but they still had to bid based on capability. At the bidding session, Wu Fu represented Yisang Company to present the car promotion plan, Mastering Life. Manager Chun praised Wu Fu's plan just when Sinjin brought her team in a bid. She asked to present the promotional plan with the theme Mastering the Extraordinary. A member really liked the introduction line, make every bump like walking on flat ground. However, he had never heard of Yunfeng Village. Sinjin said Yunfeng Village was still pristine. The road conditions there were very suitable for promoting Bay AO Car's multi-terrain adaptation system. Her parents used to sponsor a student in Yunfeng, but inconvenient transportation made it impossible to visit him often. Therefore, a superior car not only brings travel convenience, but also carries humanity. Seeing Cheng Rue staying at the dormitory, Li Wu promised to come back in a bit to eat dinner with his friend. Because Sinjin had been very busy lately and stayed at the company all the time, unexpectedly Sinjin came home early and personally went into the kitchen to cook hot pot. As a result, Cheng Rue waited forever, finally receiving a message about Li Wu breaking the appointment. Knowing Sinjin worked hard, Li Wu forced her to eat a lot of meat. She reported that the bidding had ended and asked if he wanted to do anything. Just then, Sinjin received the news of winning the bid. Sinjin excitedly held Li Wu's hand tightly, making the corners of his lips unconsciously curve up, soft like a smile reserved only for her. Sinjin revealed she would film the commercial in Yunfeng Village. Li Wu remembered behind his grandfather's old house there was a road winding around the mountain up to Qinglian Peak. When he was small, he often ran up there, because if lucky he could watch the sea of clouds. Sinjin excitedly brought out a notebook to take notes. Li Wu described that every time at dawn or dusk, the mountain peak was covered in orange color. Besides, there were terraced fields in the middle of the mountain, and villages at the foot of the hill. The colors were layered upon layers, exactly like a painting. Especially the stream water on the mountain was very clear. In the river, there were also small crabs and fish, very suitable for battering and deep frying until crispy. The distance with Sinjin narrowed more and more, making Li Wu's heart tremble uncontrollably. From her smile to her breath lightly brushing past, everything made him flutter. Starting a new working year, Shui gave employees comedy tickets for the second day of the Lunar New Year. Sinjin remembered that day was Li Wu's birthday, so she asked for 2 entrance tickets. She called Li Wu just when he was catching a bus home. She told him to get off at the stop, right at Jili Building to pick her up. Arriving in front of Sinjin's company, Li Wu watched the commercial tape filmed in Yunfeng Village. The female character in it, every gesture and appearance, was exactly like the girl who had walked into his heart from the first day of meeting. The first moment seeing her was still etched deep in his memory, to the point that just remembering it made his heart tremble slightly. The time she stood up to protect him, without hesitation, without fear, all became precious pieces of memory that he could never forget. Li Wu, a familiar calling voice rang out. The figure of that girl once again appeared before his eyes, making his soul tremble to the point of being choked for words. In a sweet dream, Li Wu saw himself lying on the bed, and Sinjin walked over like an angel. She bent down, gently caressing his face so tenderly that it made his heart tremble slightly. Li Wu woke up with a start, his breathing still rapid due to the lingering effect of the dream just now. In 2024, Li Wu followed Sinjin to the archery club. She had just bought an American-style hunting bow, so she asked Dr. Liu for guidance. Li Wu immediately asked Sinjin about how to pull the string too. She saw his posture was wrong, so she came over to teach him bit by bit. Li Wu was smug. His first shot was very decent. Sinjin adjusted his head tilt further, making him improve significantly. Li Wu looked at his rival's achievement and wanted to try even harder. Dr. Liu praised Li Wu for being impressive, playing for the first time. He already shot nearly hitting the bullseye. Sinjin guessed her student would only take one day to catch up with her. Just then, she heard the film studio was having trouble, so she excused herself to leave first. Li Wu heard Dr. Liu invite him to dinner and immediately agreed. Arriving at the restaurant, Dr. Liu invited Li Wu to taste the osmanthus wine that Sinjin liked the most. Li Wu acknowledged the sweet and sour taste was exactly Sinjin's culinary preference. Dr. Liu said every time the restaurant released a new dish, they invited Sinjin to experience it. Li Wu praised the eggplant as very delicious. Just pity it didn't suit Sinjin's taste. He remembered every time they ate together. He ate all the eggplant for her. Dr. Liu guessed Sinjin changed her taste, because every time she praised the eggplant as soft and delicious. On this side, Sinjin was tidying up the film studio alone. She heard the fire alarm and frantically ran outside. Sinjin carelessly dropped a shoe, but couldn't reach it, so she had to take off the remaining one to run downstairs. The security guard said, "The building is just testing the fire alarm system. Coming to pick Sinjin up." Li Wu saw her rubbing her feet. He heard she ran until she dropped her shoes, but didn't forget to bring her computer. Li Wu wanted to carry Sinjin on his back to go home, but she regretted losing the newly bought shoes. He had to sit with her waiting for the building to finish checking the fire alarm system. Li Wu forced Sinjin to put her feet on his shoes, the corners of his mouth unconsciously curving up. He was afraid she would be bored, so he invited her to play a newly released game. The distance between them was also gradually shortened thanks to that. Li Wu heard the security guard finish checking the left system, so he immediately went in to find the shoe for Sinjin. He bent down to put the shoe on her foot. They walked side by side back in the quiet night. Back home, Sinjin told Li Wu to rest early. He guessed the door was broken, so he couldn't enter the password. He contacted the customer service number, but they scheduled to come fix it tomorrow. "Sister, can I sleep over for one night?" Sinjin was troubled, but had to agree. Li Wu gallantly opened the door to ask Sinjin for the house password, but he didn't expect she still kept the old password. Seeing Li Wu temporarily wearing her nightgown, Sinjin couldn't help laughing. She apologized because this was her largest size sleepwear. Li Wu thought her house had men's sleepwear. Sinjin said her father wasn't here, so where would she get men's sleepwear? She urged him to go change the bed sheets so she could get more pillows. Finally, Li Wu returned to the familiar room. Everything here was exactly like 8 years ago. He discovered she still kept the model they assembled together. On this side, Sinjin chose a buckwheat pillow for Li Wu. She suddenly remembered she still kept old things in the next room. Sinjin hurriedly ran to Li Wu's room, but it was too late. She blamed him for arbitrarily rummaging through other people's things. Li Wu saw the items placed right in the cabinet and related to him. "Sinjin, why did you keep these things?" Sinjin walked away, but Li Wu hurriedly pressed close to her. He wanted to advance a bit more, but got kicked in the leg by her. She warned him if he crossed the line again, he would have to sleep on the street. She thought passwords or old things didn't necessarily have to be deleted. Sinjin talked tough but tossed and turned, unable to sleep. On this side, Li Wu read all of Sinjin's life notebook. Besides, there was a draft book filled with Sinjin's name. Inside, he also hid a photo of her. That was 7 years ago he secretly took from a file folder. Just one photo was enough to make him happy boundlessly. Sinjin brought fruit to Li Wu. Sinjin praised him for spinning the pen very well. She borrowed the pen to try spinning it. Li Wu was tense because this morning he put the photo in the pen case. He used the excuse of needing the eraser to snatch back the pen case. Luckily, she didn't find out. About to enter the new day, Li Wu went out to the living room and saw Sinjin falling asleep on the sofa. Seeing her wake up, he hurriedly ran into the room. However, she called him back just when hearing shouting outside. Sinjin wished Li Wu a happy new year. She apologized for oversleeping so she couldn't count down the moment entering the new year with him. She blamed him for going out to welcome New Year's Eve without waking her up. Just then fireworks went off outside. She urged him to quickly come over and watch. For the first time, Li Wu got a gaze at a sky brilliant with colors. Sinjin realized Li Wu had grown a bit taller again. So she came up with the idea of taking a photo together to compare between the years. Li Wu, let's take a photo together to celebrate a new beginning. Li Wu was nervous, looking forward to the moment the first photo taken together appeared. Going to watch the stand-up comedy. Sinjin reminded Li Wu to relax. However, only her joy could make him laugh. Li Wu couldn't concentrate on listening to the play because he was busy secretly looking at Sinjin. Just then, the actor invited the audience to write their questions on paper. He picked a random slip and read the question, "What to do when my younger brother doesn't like to smile?" He advised the audience member to drag the brother to a fun place, as long as they weren't with her. But the comedian didn't know that Li Wu's smile was reserved only for the person he loved. Back home, Sinjin wished Li Wu a happy birthday. She forced him to make a wish before blowing out the candles. Sinjin probed what Li Wu wished for, but he heard that saying it out loud wouldn't make it come true. "Sinjin, I wish you always have smooth sailing." Sinjin had to turn off the lights and light the candles, forcing Li Wu to wish for himself. He had finished thinking of the wish before closing his eyes. "Sister, thank you." Sinjin wondered, besides thank you and sorry, did Li Wu know anything cool to say? Seeing him shy, she gave him a birthday gift. Both of them cut the cake happily to celebrate his 20th birthday. In 2024, Li Wu looked at the first photo taken with Sinjin. Just then, the alarm rang reminding him to take his medicine on time. On this side, Sinjin woke up and saw Li Wu had left. She sneezed continuously and hurriedly made cold medicine. Just then Dr. Liu called, inviting Sinjin to try a new dish, but she refused because she had a cold. Coming to visit her daughter, Mrs. Sin coincidentally met Dr. Liu. He heard Sinjin was sick, so he came over to see how she was. Mrs. Sin used the excuse of meeting her group of sisters to create an opportunity for Dr. Liu. She asked him to tell Sinjin to give half the oranges to Li Wu. Entering Sinjin's house, Dr. Liu saw Li Wu's jacket. He ladled the porridge and urged her to eat quickly to relieve the cold. He wondered, is that Li Wu's jacket? Sinjin explained that last night, Li Wu's door lock was broken. Because it was too late, he stayed at her house for a night. Dr. Liu admitted he was curious about the relationship between Sinjin and Li Wu, because sometimes the two didn't seem close, but sometimes they were very in sync. Sinjin only said she wasn't a relative of Li Wu. On this side, Li Wu refused to cooperate with Director Qin. He remembered when Tong Chun was first established. We decided to ceaselessly pursue more advanced technology, leaving a mark in the technology industry. But Mr. Yi emphasized that to maintain the company, capital was needed. Li Wu argued that technology was exactly the capital for starting the business. Moreover, Director Qin not only interfered with the development planning, but also set many strict profit conditions. Just then, Lin Shui reported that the operating system appeared to have a bug. Getting off work, Li Wu missed the apartment opposite very much. He heard Sinjin's voice. So he hurriedly ran back to open the door. "Sister, tonight I was busy working overtime, so I haven't eaten dinner yet. My stomach is uncomfortable, but waiting for food delivery is too long. I'll come over, finish a bite of noodles, and leave immediately. I won't stay a second longer." Sure enough, Li Wu's pitiful look always made Sinjin unable to refuse. She told him to rest and wait for her to cook noodles. Sinjin remembered Li Wu had insomnia for many years, so she asked him to try out a line of scented candle products. She was making a promotional plan, so she wanted to find out the effectiveness of the product. Li Wu agreed to experience it and even send a report to Sinjin. Going to the table to wait, Li Wu saw Sinjin translating English documents. He handily helped her do the work. When Sinjin finished cooking noodles, Li Wu had already fallen asleep on the table. She discovered he had finished translating the documents for her. Sinjin intended to turn off the computer, but Li Wu unexpectedly grabbed her finger. Sinjin gently pulled her hand back, thanking the scented candle for giving him a good sleep. In 2017, Li Wu gazed at the photo hidden carefully in the pen case. The whole dormitory concentrated on reviewing to enter the final exam of the first semester. Sinjin knew Li Wu had just finished the exam, so she immediately went to pick him up to go home. Seeing the house messy, Li Wu thought there was a thief. Sinjin urged him to go take a shower so she could tidy up a bit. In the bathroom, Li Wu discovered he had mistakenly taken 2 pairs of pants. He looked around the house. Seeing no one, he dared to run back to his room. Unexpectedly, Sinjin suddenly came out. Li Wu stammered, saying he forgot to bring a shirt. He was so tense that only after closing the door tightly did he dare to breathe. Seeing Li Wu drop the towel, Sinjin called him out to get it. Li Wu accidentally touched Sinjin's hand, so he was flustered and dropped the towel. Both bent down to pick it up at the same time. looking straight into each other's eyes. Sinjin told Li Wu to wear more warm clothes to avoid catching a cold. He asked for permission to go back to his hometown for a trip during the holiday. Returning to Yinfeng, Sinjin asked Li Wu where he wanted to celebrate Lunar New Year. Hearing Li Wu choose to celebrate Lunar New Year with her, she praised him for being very wise. It turned out Li Wu went back to pay respects to his grandfather. He kowtowed to his grandfather, making Sinjin emotional. She gently picked each dry leaf caught in his hair. Li Wu intended to leave, but Sinjin wanted to say a few words. "Grandpa, now Li Wu doesn't have to worry about food and clothing. His achievements are also very excellent. You over there, just rest assured. I will take good care of him." On the way back, Li Wu suddenly paused. He looked towards his grandfather's old house, but his uncle had sold it. By now, people had demolished it, so it could no longer be seen. Sinjin remembered that in the photo taken together when small, that house was still there. The sky turned dark quickly, making Sinjin a bit scared. She forced Li Wu not to be more than 10 centimeters away from her. He agreed, taking very small steps. Finally, they also went down the mountain. Sinjin just now realized the sky in Yinfeng had so many stars. "Li Wu, let's go home to celebrate Lunar New Year." Returning to school to get the transcript, Li Wu heard the teacher praise him for ranking first in the class in the final exam. But he was a bit let down because he still ranked 31st. However, the teacher decided to transfer Li Wu to class number 1. Hearing Li Wu got into the select class, Sinjin was extremely excited. Mrs. Sin begged the two children to focus on wrapping dumplings and stop rambling about studies or work. She criticized her daughter for being clumsy, not even equal to half of Xiao Wu. He looked at her weird dumplings and could only shake his head. During the New Year's Eve meal, Mr. Sin wanted to toast a cup with Xiao Wu, but Mrs. Sin stopped him and forced Sinjin to pour orange juice for her brother. Sinjin pulled Li Wu up to wish their parents a happy new year together. She hoped Mom would win wherever she played mahjong. Hoping Dad's alcohol tolerance would get better and better, she told Li Wu the more he sweet-talked, the thicker the lucky money envelope he would receive. But he only knew to wish Uncle and Annie a happy new year, always healthy and peaceful. Sinjin was jealous that Li Wu spoke 8 words but received a lucky money envelope twice as thick as hers. Mr. Sin wished Li Wu to pass into a good school and come here to celebrate Lunar New Year every year. In 2024, Chun Chong lent the travel club a room, but it was a bit messy, so they had to carry things into the warehouse. Eong took a tape measure to measure the cabinet, accidentally touching Chun Chang's hand. She held it tight to pull him one step closer. Chun Chong looked straight into Eong's eyes, praising his self-control ability as very strong. Eong unexpectedly pulled Chun Chang's hand, holding her waist tightly. He saw that her self-control ability wasn't very stable. Chun Chong, being competitive, grabbed Eong's collar just when the club leader entered, so he had to assign the decoration work to the two of them. Knowing the news that a senior specializing in AI investment returned to the country, Eong hurriedly created an opportunity for Li Wu. The senior praised the plan as very specific, with progressive vision, but his company was also in contact with many other startups. So he wanted Li Wu to increase research and development speed, so his company could accelerate investment appraisal. On the way back, Eong just discovered the message canceling the appointment hadn't been sent. He ran to find Chun Chong, but she had finished buying decorations. Chun Chong blamed herself for being free, unlike Mr. E, who didn't have enough time to answer the phone. Entering to decorate, Chun Chong still didn't stop mocking Mr. E. He invited her to drink water to help soothe her throat. Chun Chong forced Eong to compensate triple the time, totaling 72 hours. He immediately agreed and even invited her to eat to apologize. Arriving for the re-examination, Li Wu said Sinjin was busy with a meeting. Dr. Liu heard the condition improved well, so he reduced the medication dosage. But as a doctor, he advised Li Wu to combine with psychological treatment. He said Sinjin proactively asked him to help Li Wu, because only when Li Wu was cured could the burden in Sinjin's heart be removed. Li Wu thanked Dr. Liu, but didn't need an outsider to worry about his business. Getting in the car, Li Wu received a message from Sinjin. He sulked and didn't bother to answer her. Back home, Sinjin met Li Wu opening the door. She saw Li Wu's face was pale and guessed he had a headache again. She asked for the house password, so she could help open the door. Li Wu stammered, "It's the same as your house password." Helping Li Wu inside, Sinjin urged him to drink some water. He reminded her to go rest and let him take care of himself. Sinjin remembered the internet said massage helps reduce headaches effectively. She used to save many posts guiding how to press acupoints behind the neck. She told him to lean back in a chair so she could practice. Li Wu wondered, why did you have to save information about reducing headaches? Sinjin used the excuse, "I occasionally also have headaches." She just massaged for a while, and it helped him comfortably sink gradually into sleep. Sinjin gently covered Li Wu with a blanket and then intended to go home. He unexpectedly pulled her hand, asking her to stay a little longer. "Sister, wait until I fall asleep, then go." Waking up at midnight, Li Wu saw Sinjin sleeping soundly on the chair. He gently pulled the blanket over her and then sat down beside her. In a moment where longing surged full, he bowed his head and kissed her forehead. He knew only like that could he keep her by his side. In 2017, Sinjin helped Li Wu cook tomato scrambled eggs. She carelessly poured oil into the hot pan, causing the fire to flare up. Li Wu hurriedly hugged Sinjin like an instinct to protect the person he loved. He told her to rest and let him finish cooking. Sinjin praised Li Wu for being good at cooking, making her holiday truly happy. He was smug, but had secretly read recipes online. After eating, Sinjin forced Li Wu to practice listening to English through movies. She forgot to bring a towel, so she asked him to get one from the balcony. But he saw on the drying rack not only the pink towel. Sinjin carelessly wiped her hair without knowing her carefree action made Li Wu's face flush hot. He was too tense, so he hurriedly asked for permission to take a shower. Only after closing the door tightly did he dare to reveal his rapid breathing because his heart wanted to jump out of his chest. Afraid of revealing his emotions, Li Wu went to school earlier than planned. He was afraid of not keeping up with the select class, so next weekend he wouldn't come home anymore. Taking Li Wu into class number 1, Teacher Chi praised him for improving very fast. The teacher let Li Wu sit at the empty desk next to Tao Wanwan. She knew for sure he would transfer to her class. Every day, Li Wu listened to English through Sinjin's voice. After so much effort, he finally fulfilled the promise to break into the top 30. However, every time after showering, the image of sparkling water drops on Sinjin's neck unconsciously appeared in Li Wu's mind. He could only pour cold water, trying to soothe the surging emotions in his heart. After watching Sinjin's commercial, Shui praised her with the word perfect. Sinjin asked Shui to take care of the remaining stages because she wanted to take leave to visit her younger brother who was about to take the university entrance exam. Asking Chun Chong for advice on choosing a gift, Sinjin praised Li Wu as very excellent. He wasn't content with ranking 10th, so he was still in seclusion training. But because of that, the time he came home became less and less. Sinjin saw a brown fountain pen that suited Li Wu's personality very well. Receiving the university entrance exam gift, Li Wu smiled happily. Sinjin also sent along a message, hoping Li Wu would use the pen to write a new chapter of life. "Li Wu, I will always support you." Li Wu gathered all his intense longing and sent it into Sinjin's photo. It was like a protective talisman, adding more courage for him to firmly enter the university entrance exam. Finally, Li Wu stepped into the most important threshold of his life. All the accumulated knowledge was unleashed, urging him to move forward. Standing waiting in front of the school gate, Sinjin gently waved to Li Wu. Amidst the bustling sea of people, he still immediately recognized her smile. Looking at Li Wu's fresh face, Sinjin guessed he did well on the exam. Li Wu thought he didn't do badly. Just then, Cheng Rue and Wanwen came over to greet Li Wu's sister. He praised Sinjin for standing out in the crowd. Sinjin felt One had the face of an excellent student, while Cheng Rue was very approachable. Li Wu wondered, "How do you see me?" She affirmed he was the hardest person to approach she had ever met. But now he was both tall and handsome, and studied very well. After a busy time reviewing for exams, Li Wu finally returned home. He missed everything here, missed the bed that helped him sleep well. In 2024, Li Wu woke up and didn't see Sinjin. She texted telling him to remember to eat breakfast fully. Li Wu went out. Sure enough, she had prepared plenty of food in the refrigerator. He happily tasted the sweet fermented rice cake in the morning. To promote the bar, Chun Chong frequently live-streamed daily chats. She promised to give gifts to the top 5 on the fan ranking board. On this side, Cheng Rue caught his uncle watching the live stream and even ranking first in gift giving. Yang chased his nephew back to the company, telling him not to linger at his house anymore. Cheng Rue told his uncle to send the address to receive the gift. If he didn't use it, he could give it to his nephew. Because he didn't fill in a phone number, Yang had to go to the delivery station to get the gift. She gifted a small hairbrush, wishing the wandering kitten to groom a beautiful life. Finally, Li Wu also passed the first internal test. He declared that Tongqin technology had passed the most difficult hurdle. He guaranteed today was the last day of overtime in the month. Mister. He generously invited everyone to eat barbecue. Li Wu asked Cheng Rue to host the employees because he wanted to go home early. In front of the house door, Sinjin looked at her mother's pile of amethyst. She remembered her mother said it had a calming effect, so she wanted to gift it to Li Wu. Unexpectedly, he had just finished showering and hadn't had time to put on a shirt yet. Sinjin was flustered and hurriedly gave him the amethyst to cure insomnia. She used the excuse of being busy with work to ask for permission to go home. Seeing Chun Chong sitting sadly alone, Yang asked if she wasn't going back to her hometown. Chun Chong said her mother's separate family was busy traveling. Every time she was disappointed, she told herself not to expect anything. However, every time she couldn't help imagining many things. If she had known the result beforehand, she would have gone stargazing with everyone. Yang immediately turned on the projector, helping Chun Chong get her wish. Shun Yang, watch the starry sky with me always from now on, okay? After completing the experiment, Yang invited Li Wu to the small bar. He coincidentally met Sinjin and found out she was Chun Chang's best friend. The owner hadn't seen Li Wu for a long time, so she decided to open a bottle of precious wine. Sinjin called Li Wu to sit next to her because the opposite side was directly facing the air conditioner. She watched Yang taking care of Chun Chong and felt fate was truly magical. Late at night, Li Wu went over to find Sinjin. He brought along a pillow, scented candles, and the amethyst. Sister, I can't sleep. I'll sleep on the sofa. Tomorrow morning I'll leave right away. I know it's a bit abrupt, but last time I slept very well here. Sure enough, Sinjin still couldn't resist. Before Li Wu's pitiful gaze, she reminded him to lie on the buckwheat pillow and also to listen to Dr. Lu's instructions to take medicine on time. Li Wu looked at the pile of scented candles like a formation. Afraid he wouldn't wake up again, Sinjin forced him to knock 3 times to erase the unlucky words. Li Wu revealed the thing that helped him sleep well wasn't the scented candles. He unexpectedly stood up, stepping towards her. Sinjin hurriedly tried to evade, carelessly breaking a bottle of essential oil. Li Wu was afraid Sinjin would step on the shards, so he immediately picked her up and put her on the table. He took a pair of slippers and put them on her feet. Sinjin, were you nervous just now? Sinjin reminded Li Wu to remember the distinction between men and women. Sinjin, I thought I was just acting as a younger brother. Li Wu took a broom to clean up all the shards on the floor. He even carefully used tape too. Avoid leaving any tiny fragments behind. Sister, why are you staring at me like that? Li Wu, we should keep our distance. Didn't we say we would put the past aside? But Sinjin, I always wonder why we had a breakup that year. Sinjin evaded, wanted to go back to her room to rest. Early in the morning, Sinjin invited Li Wu to drink coffee. Just when she heard the door opening, she hurriedly gathered Li Wu's blanket and pillows and pushed him back into the room. Mrs. Sin blamed her daughter for never changing to a facial recognition lock. Li Wu unexpectedly came out, pretending to come over to borrow a power strip. He asked to leave, but heard Annie Tsin invite Dr. Lu over for dinner. Li Wu used the excuse that he was free on the weekend and could help Annie cook. Mr. Sin took the opportunity to ask Xiao Wu to evaluate a potential partner for his sister. Arriving at the bar, Yang caught Chun Chong being forced to drink alcohol. He pretended to be her boyfriend to drink with a regular customer in her place. Back in the private room, Yang reported he had to go on a business trip tomorrow. Chun Chong wondered if at the drinking table he wanted to claim sovereignty. Chun Chong, what do you think? Yang leaned in, but accidentally closed his eyes and fell asleep right away. While cooking, Mr. Sin wondered what kind of girlfriend an excellent person like Li Wu would like. He looked towards Sinjin, but only said he liked beautiful people. Mrs. Sin advised Li Wu to proactively pursue her, but he was afraid of making things worse. Li Wu saw Sinjin reaching for the clay pot, so he went over to help her. Just then Dr. Lu came to visit. Feeling let down when meeting Li Wu again, he bought moth orchids and honey to support sleep for Annie. Mrs. Sin urged her daughter to quickly go chat with Dr. Lu. Li Wu heard Sinjin getting filtered water for another man, so he intentionally made things difficult for her. He asked, Sister, you piled up strawberry jam in the fridge, but didn't eat any at all? Dr. Lu felt awkward and had to go to his car to get wine. Sinjin couldn't find a bottle opener, so she went over to borrow one from Li Wu. Dr. Lu felt a pang in his heart, seeing she knew the neighbor's house password by heart. Sinjin accidentally discovered Li Wu hadn't taken his medicine at all. During the meal, Mrs. Sin urged her daughter to quickly ladle soup for Dr. Lu. Sinjin was busy thinking about Li Wu, so she carelessly spilled hot soup out. Dr. Lu quickly got ice for Sinjin to compress the burn. Hearing her mother start mentioning marriage, she hurriedly praised the braised meat as especially delicious. She saw Li Wu peeling shrimp and immediately reminded him not to eat seafood. Li Wu pretended to forget so he could yield the shrimp to his sister. Seeing Annie off, Dr. Lu asked Sinjin directly how she felt about him. He praised her as very suitable for his personality and perspective on life. Sinjin, are you willing to let the relationship between us advance a step further? You don't need to answer in a hurry yet. Just take time to think more. Sinjin admitted she felt very safe when with Dr. Lu. However, she still needed some time to go meet Li Wu. Sinjin questioned, why do you refuse to take medicine? Sinjin, if I don't have headaches anymore, will you still care about me? You accepted me again, took me home, and for treatment just because of guilt? If you just want to quickly solve a trouble like me, just say it straight, Sinjin. I know you intend to criticize me for being childish and unwilling to let go, but I said 8 years ago that I wasn't a child anymore. In a half year after breaking up, every time I closed my eyes, I saw you. I both wanted and feared dreaming of you. After that, I would stay awake all night. The psychologist said that time can erase everything, but why doesn't that work for me? So I realized letting go is completely useless, because I wanted a status to stand in front of you. If I didn't pretend to let go of the past, would you come near me? Sinjin, do you dare to say you simply consider me a younger brother? Sinjin evaded, urging Li Wu to quickly go back to rest. The distance between the two people was only a wall apart, yet Li Wu felt it was heartbreakingly distant. In 2017, Sinjin started receiving many phone calls from the admissions offices of universities. They all belonged to top universities, wanting to recruit a talent like Li Wu. Sinjin sighed that her younger brother was too excellent, so wanting to be humble was impossible. Going to a restaurant to celebrate, Sinjin asked Li Wu which school he wanted to choose to study at. She recounted that in the past, she studied best in the journalism department of a university. Li Wu remembered that a university had contacted him after the third mock exam. Sinjin praised Li Wu for being awesome, living up to his title as the 100-point little brother. She advised him to choose Yin University or Huaqing so he could meet more talented people. But sister, that place is very far from our home. Sinjin thought that everyone who goes to college rarely comes home anyway. Li Wu, can you not bear to be away from me? You have to fly high and far. It's not like you're never coming back. I remember you like artificial intelligence. You can look into the physics department at Huaqing. Li Wu didn't say anything and quietly peeled shrimp for Sinjin. She was afraid he might have an allergy and forced him to wipe his hands clean. Alone in his room, Li Wu felt sad about Sinjin's words because it seemed like she wasn't afraid of being away from him. The next day, Li Wu waited for the moment to check his college entrance exam scores. He reassured himself and calmly looked at the very high score. Li Wu happily sent his transcript to Sinjin, but unexpectedly, she excitedly ran over and hugged him tightly. Li Wu, you're really amazing. Li Wu was flustered, but he couldn't miss the chance to hold the person he loved tightly. Visiting her daughter, Mrs. Tsin praised Xiao Wu for being awesome. He managed the house so neatly that she had nothing left to do. She wondered, which school is Xiao Wu planning to attend? Sinjin said he is still undecided, but with over 700 points, he can easily get into Huaqing. Just then, Li Wu came back and immediately went to hang up the laundry. Mrs. Tsin reminded her daughter that she had been divorced for a long time and it was time to think about remarrying. Sinjin used working overtime as an excuse to politely send her mother home. She told Li Wu not to wait for her for dinner that night. He suddenly felt unsettled inside, afraid that Sinjin would marry someone else. Just then, Cheng Rui asked Li Wu to go to Yin City to find Wanwan. She was forbidden by her parents to study journalism, so she left right after submitting her college preferences. On this side, Sinjin received a message from Li Wu. She saw him say he was going to Yin City, but she couldn't contact him. She went home worried, looking at the books still on the table, and finally, she got a call from Li Wu. He explained that his phone had run out of battery, and he called her as soon as it was charged. Sinjin praised Li Wu for being impressive, flying to Yin City right after sending a text. Just then, Cheng Rui found Wanwan, so Li Wu hurriedly hung up the phone. Cheng Rui blamed Wanwan for not treating him as a best friend. She didn't want to go home and was being forced by her parents to go to medical school. She knew that following the planned path would make her future easy. But for her, her own desires were more important. Since they were in Yin City, Wanwan took her friends to visit Huaqing University. She knew Li Wu was hesitant, so she wanted him to directly experience the atmosphere of the leading university in the country. Waiting for Li Wu to return, Sinjin questioned why he had registered for E-University. Li Wu said that E-University waived all tuition and fees. They also promised direct admission to graduate school, and even in the fourth year, he could study for a doctorate. Sinjin objected because Huaqing was more worthy of Li Wu. He said that he had strolled around E-University this afternoon and really liked it, and he had already submitted his application. Li Wu, you made such a big decision on your own. You could study at a better school, so why choose a university? Li Wu, why are you determined to stay here? Sinjin, I want to become independent quickly and pay you and uncle back. Sinjin didn't need Li Wu to pay her back and forced him to go to school too. Change his application. But this time, Li Wu firmly resisted. Sinjin tried to persuade Li Wu with forced anger, saying he was still young and shouldn't act impulsively. Sinjin, I'm not young anymore. I'm not just doing it for the money. I have my own reasons. Li Wu, what do you want in the end? Sinjin, didn't you say I could write my own life? Li Wu, In the end, you still treat me like an outsider. If that's the case, then go. I won't continue to manage you anymore. Going into the room to pack, Li Wu left behind the IOU notebook. He went outside and saw her tearing up the summer travel plans with him. He bent down and picked up each piece of paper. Sister, I have recorded the living expenses since coming to East City, and I have also included the 30,000 yuan you gave to Uncle. I received 100,000 yuan in scholarships from E-University, so I have just transferred it back to you. If it's still not enough, just let me know. Li Wu, do you want to cut ties with me? You're all grown up and don't need me anymore. Then go ahead. Sinjing, thank you for taking care of me. Returning to her room, Sinjing read the life handbook. Each page marked how much effort Li Wu had put in. But why was he wasting that effort? Arriving at school, Li Wu heard that Sinjing had left something for Teacher Qi. He walked through the hallway and suddenly remembered the first time she brought him here. Teacher Qi gave Li Wu Sinjing's life handbook. She had recorded in detail each month of his studies, especially on the college entrance exam results page. She carefully wrote out each score. She also left a message saying to return the efforts to him. Visiting her mother, Sinjing complained that Li Wu was rebellious. He registered for E-University instead of Huaqing. Mrs. Tsin thought that E-University was not inferior either. She remembered that years ago, Sinjing's father wanted her to register for Yanbei University. But Sinjing firmly objected because she didn't like being away from home. She thought that Li Wu was just like Sinjing back then, only wanting to study near home. Going to see Mr. Tsin. She told him that Li Wu had transferred 100,000 yuan back to her, but she didn't help him with his education, wanting anything in return. Mr. Tsin thought that Sinjing was only looking at it from her own perspective. To a grateful child like Li Wu, being given something by someone else is also a burden of gratitude. He believed that Li Wu chose E-University not just for the money. Because Li Wu didn't have a home, Cheng Rui brought his friend to rely on his youngest uncle. Guiyang was assigned a dormitory, but he was always buried in the Environmental Research Institute. So Li Wu was comfortable staying there, only needing to pay for utilities. Guiyang remembered that the Research Institute was recruiting paid interns and advised Li Wu to consider it. On Sinjing's birthday, Li Wu secretly returned home. He saw the elevator going up to his floor and quickly hid behind the wall. He waited for Sinjing to enter the house before quietly wishing her a happy birthday. Hearing the sound of rain, Sinjing, as a habit, reminded Li Wu to close the bedroom window. She entered the room and realized he was no longer there. She wanted to wash her face to wake up, but suddenly discovered a new bottle of moisturizer. Just then, Li Wu sent a message wishing her a happy birthday. Sister, I'm sorry. The next day, Li Wu went to the company to find Sinjing. He reported that he spent one day a week working part-time at the milk tea shop next door. She sarcastically asked if he gave up Huaqing to work part-time. Sister, I'm sorry. I know you're still angry and don't care about the money I pay back, but I did a lot of research before registering for university. Because a university has been involved in the field of artificial intelligence very early on, and the model that won a major award was also made by them. I can get into university, and I like being able to choose the major I want, and I don't want to owe you anymore. But no matter what, I absolutely don't treat you like an outsider, because you are very important. I want to do something for you sooner. She urged him to go home quickly. Li Wu reported that he had just passed his driver's license test. Sinjing praised her brother for being awesome and able to do anything. Li Wu denied it because he couldn't coax her when she was angry. On the first day of school, Sinjing took Li Wu to school to register. She went to the dormitory to get acquainted with his roommates. Li Wu asked her to sit down and rest while he arranged his belongings. Other parents asked Sinjing for the secret to teaching children to be independent. She praised her brother for being sensible since he was young and used to cleaning the house. Knowing that Sinjing was busy with work, Li Wu went to visit the school himself, following her instructions. Sinjing remembered arriving at a new fork in the road. Li Wu, this time I won't lead the way anymore. You just continue to run comfortably. Planning to have lunch with a friend, Li Wu ran into her coming to find him. She surprisingly gave him a birthday present. Arriving at a restaurant to celebrate New Year's Day, Sinjing asked Li Wu, have you participated in any extracurricular activities lately? He said that he only participated in a brick card game club. Sinjing thought that Li Wu had the face of a 20-year-old, but the soul of a 40-year-old. They still kept the habit of taking a photo together on his birthday. Visiting home, Li Wu made an excuse that he had to go to work part-time tomorrow. Because the milk tea shop was far from school, he wanted to come home to live on his workdays. Sinjing agreed, as long as Li Wu's studies weren't affected. Sitting beside Sinjing and observing her, Li Wu quietly handed her water whenever she was thirsty. Sinjing called Li Wu closer to her. She looked straight into his eyes, causing Li Wu's heart to tremble slightly. Li Wu, your eyes are really beautiful. Li Wu was flustered, but Sinjing told him to sit still. She took a photo of those deep eyes and immediately came up with an idea to advertise contact lenses. While Jing sketched out the communication plan, Li Wu just sat and watched her, and the excitement still hadn't subsided. Driving Jing to the company, Li Wu gently called her to wake up. Jing reported that she was busy with a meeting at noon and wouldn't have time to have lunch with Li Wu. Returning home and seeing the strong wind, Jing reminded Li Wu to close the window. She didn't see him respond, so she had to go in and close it herself. Jing accidentally spilled a glass of water on the table. While cleaning up, she discovered a notebook filled with her name. Also, there was a photo of her on the table. Li Wu walked in, stunned to see that Jing knew his secret. She urged him to go outside and talk. Jing questioned him. Li Wu, why are you hiding my photos? Sister, I like you. I'm not impulsive. I've liked you for a very long time. Li Wu, you can't like me. You've never been in love. So you can't distinguish between liking and gratitude. Jing, I'm 21 years old. I understand very well what liking is. If you don't accept it, I will always like you. I will only like you in this life. I will not marry. I will not find a girlfriend. But I will never bother you. Li Wu, I'm almost 10 years older than you. I know well how time can change a person. Jing, you're not me. Besides, I don't need an answer. I just want you to know how much I like you. Whether now or 10 years from now, it's all my own feelings. I will become strong so that you can rely on me. But Li Wu, I can't wait. I feel that in the past year, I have always kept my distance from you. If there was any action that made you misunderstand, I am very sorry. Jing, do you want to clear the relationship? Just because I said I like you? Does my affection really cause a mistake? Arriving at the company, Jing heard colleagues discussing the handsome guy selling milk tea downstairs. She didn't expect that the person they praised so much was Li Wu. Tet reminded everyone to go to the meeting room quickly. Just then, Li Wu came up to deliver milk tea, and the female employees secretly took photos and chased after him to ask to be his WeChat friend. Back at her desk, Jing heard the film production side urging her to review the product. She called everyone to gather and watch when the power suddenly went out. Because they had to review the product urgently, Jing's company had to move down to the milk tea shop. But the female employees couldn't concentrate on work because they were busy looking at the handsome guy. They also asked Li Wu to give face to the whole company and add them on WeChat after buying milk tea. Li Wu was afraid that the person he liked would find out and be unhappy. Jing made an excuse to go to the bathroom to call Li Wu outside to talk. She forced him to quit his job because it wasn't necessary to work at a job 20 kilometers away from school. Jing transferred 100,000 yuan back, forcing Li Wu to go back to school and focus on his studies. Jing, you want to cut ties? Why are you still managing me? Li Wu, don't hang around in front of me. Li Wu felt embarrassed and wronged. Jing, you texted me to come, and I followed it. But next time it won't be so easy. Riding his motorcycle very fast, Li Wu wanted to hide his wounded heart, but he couldn't escape the truth. Cheng Rue, it's all ruined. I said I liked her, but she doesn't even give me the qualification to like her. She doesn't want to see me anymore. While filming a promotional video, Jing slipped and fell down the stairs. On this side, Li Wu was still pouring out his heart when suddenly Chen Shuang called to report that Jing had fallen down the stairs. Li Wu asked Cheng Rue to help him take a few days off. Rushing back home, Li Wu didn't dare to barge in suddenly. Just then, Chen Shuang came out to report that Li Wu was back. But Jing told him to go back to school so she could go to sleep. Li Wu couldn't wait any longer and rushed in to check her leg. Jing saw the heavy look in his eyes and couldn't bear to scold him anymore. Li Wu bent down to pick up books and asked, "Are you still in pain?" Chen Shuang was busy with the store, so she handed Jing over to Li Wu to take care of. "Sister, is the injury serious?" Jing said that it was just a fracture, and she would recover after resting for a few weeks. Li Wu told her not to move around, lest it get misaligned again. He propped her leg up high to help blood circulation and prevent swelling. He pulled the chair closer to the bed to make it easier to take care of her at any time. In that quiet space, they occasionally stole glances at each other and quickly turned away, their faces flushed with embarrassment. While Jing was reading a book, Li Wu had finished cooking the meal. She tasted it, and it was the familiar taste of home-cooked food. Late into the night, Li Wu still didn't leave Jing's side for even half a step. She wondered, "Are you planning to sit next to the bed all night?" She urged him to go out and watch TV, and she would call if she needed him. But Li Wu said he didn't want to watch TV. Jing was speechless and had to put on headphones to watch a movie. She asked him to support her so she could go to the bathroom. Li Wu carefully put her feet down, but Jing was still unsteady. He became anxious and immediately carried her into the bathroom. He put her on the toilet seat before he was relieved to go outside. He waited for Jing to call and immediately rushed in to carry her out. Jing told Li Wu to remember to give a warning next time. She guessed that he used to take care of his grandfather like this too. But Li Wu shook his head because she was making her daughter angry. Jing urged Li Wu to go out so she could go to sleep. He told her to call him if she needed anything. The next day, Li Wu woke up early to clean the house. He also stewed soup, waiting for her to finish it before he felt relieved. Xin Jing wanted to sleep, reminding Li Wu to go to his room to rest. He said he liked to read and guaranteed he wouldn't disturb her. But he couldn't concentrate because his eyes only wanted to turn to her. "Sister, I'm looking at you." "Xin Jing, you're really very beautiful." Xin Jing was so flustered that she couldn't say a word. Just then, Xin Jing's father came to visit his daughter. Li Wu hastily opened the door to welcome uncle to visit. While dad was busy cooking, Xin Jing dared to go outside. Li Wu bent down and carried both the chair and Xin Jing closer to the table. Mr. Xin blamed his daughter for breaking her leg and not telling her parents. Xin Jing told dad not to tell mom, so she could enjoy her travels. Mr. Xin agreed, but she had to come home with him. Li Wu offered to take care of her because he used to take care of his grandfather himself. Seeing Xin Jing walking with difficulty, Li Wu saw that uncle wasn't paying attention and carried her to the sofa. Mr. Xin told his daughter to exercise moderately to recover quickly, waiting for dad to leave. Xin Jing called Li Wu over to talk. She suggested that next time when her parents were around, he should pay attention a little. Li Wu thought that Xin Jing using crutches was inconvenient, so it was normal for him to carry her. After he finished speaking, his face got a little hot, and he quickly bowed his head to wash the dishes. In the bathroom, Xin Jing discovered wrinkles at the corners of her eyes. She quickly applied cream, but accidentally dropped the lid of the jar. Hearing Xin Jing's call, Li Wu rushed in to help her up. He told her that next time she needed something, she should call him immediately. Li Wu looked at his gift on the shelf and asked if Xin Jing knew how to use it. She didn't bother because she hated him working so hard to buy expensive things. Just then, Xin Jing's dad came back to get his keys. She was afraid of misunderstandings, so she urged him to close the door tightly. Li Wu turned on the faucet and hid right next to Xin Jing. She said she was taking a shower, and Li Wu had just run to the convenience store. He was flustered and quickly stood up. Unexpectedly, she pulled him closer, lest her dad find out. Li Wu slowly moved closer to touch Xin Jing's full lips, but she pushed him away because she knew what Li Wu wanted to do, waiting for dad to leave. Xin Jing chased Li Wu out because she realized that not only Li Wu but she herself was also unconsciously looking forward to that kiss. Helping Xin Jing out to eat, Li Wu reported that he had to go to school later. Had he prepared lunch too? He told her to heat it up before eating. Xin Jing remembered Li Wu once firmly said, "Next time you call, I won't come so easily." Li Wu clarified that Chen Shuang called him, so he came. Xin Jing praised him for being good. Now he knows how to talk back. Waiting for school to let out, Li Wu quickly went home, but Cheng Rui pulled Li Wu back to borrow his notebook. Just then, the class president named Lu Ying needed to find some volunteers for an upcoming seminar. Cheng Rui remembered that Xin Jing's leg was about to heal. He asked Li Wu to register together to help him have a chance to approach the school beauty. Li Wu had to agree, but he had to go home to take care of his sister. Returning home, Li Wu met Chen Shuang visiting Xin Jing. He told the two sisters to chat comfortably while he went to cook. Chen Shuang was sure that proximity would eventually spark a flame. Chen Shuang thought that love didn't use the brain, but used the heart to feel. She wondered, isn't Xin Jing moved at all? Before going to bed, Li Wu received a message from Xin Jing. He thought she needed something, but Xin Jing told Li Wu to stand outside the door. She asked him if he still liked her. She saw Li Wu admit his feelings and immediately called him. "Xin Jing, are you going to tell me I'm not allowed to like you?" "Li Wu, if we are together, we will have to face many problems, for example, distance, age, and how to explain to our parents. Only a few friends date younger men, break up if it doesn't work out, but that's not suitable for you and me." "Li Wu, I've just gone through a failed marriage. I'm not ready to accept a new relationship. After a few years, when you graduate, you will meet all kinds of excellent girls. At that time, you will realize that I am very ordinary, so I don't want to become someone who imprisons your world. Li Wu, let's give each other some time. If a year from now you still like me, and I don't like anyone else, we will discuss this matter further." Xin Jing's last sentence lit a spark of hope for Li Wu. "Xin Jing, can I continue to like you?" "Sister, I will never stop liking you." Li Wu hung up and immediately texted that he would like Xin Jing to death and would only like her in this life. "Xin Jing, from now on, don't think of me as a younger brother anymore. You can see me as a man. Little boy, good night." Xin Jing's words of man were enough to make Li Wu toss and turn all night. Early in the morning, Xin Jing called Li Wu to her room. They suddenly looked at each other with different eyes. Xin Jing told Li Wu to restrain his emotions lest her parents discover something unusual between them. Unexpectedly, Li Wu was too careful and even closed the door tightly. Xin Jing heard that Li Wu stayed up all night without leaving dark circles under his eyes. So he came closer to guess that she couldn't sleep either. "Xin Jing, should I carry you to the bathroom?" Xin Jing nodded slightly. This time she was no longer awkward, or evasive like before. The next day, Sinjing returned to work. She had just finished a meeting when someone brought food. Lu Dong blamed Sinjing for being unkind, secretly ordering food alone. Sinjing corrected that she didn't order takeout. It turned out that Li Wu made the food and sent it to Sinjing. Because Lu Dong didn't get to eat home-cooked meals, she asked to try a bite. Unexpectedly, it was so delicious that she envied the director. Just then, Li Wu texted, telling Sinjing to eat everything to ensure nutrition. She thanked him for elevating her lunch. Because he had to go to school in the morning, Li Wu made lunch for Sinjing in advance. She told him that he didn't need to bring her food anymore, because he had to spend more time studying, not being a chef. Moreover, he could move back to the dormitory for convenience in getting to school. Sister, let's date. I will immediately go back to school. But you have to spend weekends with me. Li Wu, do you dare bargain with me? I'm very picky. I don't go everywhere. Finally, Li Wu waited until the weekend. He happily ran to Sinjing's company to pick her up from work. But just as he looked up, he saw Sinjing standing close to another man. A moment of stagnation in his chest made Li Wu unable to think anymore. He waited for Sinjing to cross the street and immediately pulled her away. Sinjing, do you like him? I've never seen you so intimate with any man. Sinjing said that Mr. Shui was her boss. If Li Wu didn't believe that they were innocent, she could call him. Sinjing thought that Li Wu was too childish, getting excited when things weren't clear. Moreover, they weren't together yet. What right did he have to question her? Sinjing told Li Wu to go back first, so she could have some peace, but he unexpectedly pulled her back and kissed her, pouring out all the jealousy and pent-up desire in his heart. Sister, I can't wait any longer. I should have barged into your room and kissed you that night. No matter what the result, I had to kiss you early on. Sinjing, I like you so much I'm going crazy. I can't stand only being able to see you from afar every day. Li Wu's reckless confession knocked down the last wall of resistance in Sinjing's heart. Li Wu, are you ready to be with me? If not, we can stop at any time. But Li Wu looked straight at her, his eyes unwavering. He leaned down and kissed her deeply, as if affirming his choice. After that passionate moment, they only dared to steal glances at each other. She urged him to go back to school, not knowing that it was already midnight. Sinjing, do you want to chase me away again? Sinjing quickly explained that she was afraid of dormitory checks, but she forgot that today was the weekend. The atmosphere became so awkward that they didn't know how to open their mouths. She took a light breath and stepped directly in front of him. Li Wu, let's be lovers, because we've kissed anyway. Li Wu felt disappointed, thinking that Sinjing only loved him because of the kiss. Sinjing admitted that she was a bit impulsive when she heard Li Wu's confession. But Li Wu, my feelings are not impulsive. If we've already kissed, I want to try to love you. I failed in marriage before, so it's hard to believe in love again. But you suddenly appeared like a bomb falling into my life. You rekindled the light that I thought had gone out in my life. Li Wu, are you willing to try to be with me as a lover? Sinjing, I agree, eternally agree. Finally, I can hold you like this now. I've been waiting for this day for so long. The more Sinjing looked at Li Wu, the more she found him so beautiful that her heart softened. He touched her lips lightly, as gentle as if he was afraid of hurting her. Back in his room, Li Wu texted to confirm the relationship. Sinjing, I'm your boyfriend now, okay? But Sinjing thought that Li Wu was still a silly boyfriend. Girlfriend, I miss you already. Can you come out for a bit? As soon as Sinjing opened the door, Li Wu hugged his girlfriend tightly. She urged him to go to sleep so they could go camping tomorrow. But he couldn't sleep. He just wanted to hold her a little longer. Li Wu leaned down and kissed his lover passionately, making it difficult for Sinjing to break away. She tried to suppress her emotions, gently pushing him back to his bedroom. The next day, Li Wu took Sinjing to the campsite. He quickly rolled up his pants and carried her across the cold water. He made an excuse that her leg hadn't fully recovered, but it was just like wanting to assert ownership in front of his friends. Chung Rue guessed that Li Wu was filming a romantic drama, carrying his older sister across the stream like a baby. Seeing his best friend constantly flirting, Chung Rue guessed that Li Wu had successfully won over Sinjing. Guiyang told his nephew to stop gossiping, while Chung Rue urged him to marry his aunt. Li Wu excused himself to go help his girlfriend. Under the starry sky, Li Wu gently held Sinjing's hand, and he also affectionately kissed her hair. Sinjing saw fireflies and took out her phone to take pictures, but behind her, Li Wu only wanted to capture the image of his lover. Before going to sleep, Sinjing saw a silhouette placing something in front of her tent. It turned out that Li Wu knew his girlfriend liked fireflies, so he caught them as a gift. Meeting Sinjing, Shinjun apologized for not having time to visit her. Shinjun said that she had just quit her job at North Auto. Although the position was high, it became increasingly restrictive. She took charge of the project, but the decision-making power belonged to senior leaders. so she decided to quit to start her own business. However, Shenjun was only good at negotiation and still needed an excellent creative director like Sinjing. Shenjun knew that the new company was just established, but as long as Sinjing was willing to come, she would have the greatest autonomy and decision-making power. After school, Li Wu waited for his girlfriend to pick him up. Sinjing looked at her lover, who was so tan from being in the sun, and felt that he was even more attractive. She looked at him, tilting his head back to drink water in a manly way, unable to resist gently touching his cheek. Li Wu paused for a beat and immediately returned Sinjing's kiss. She saw that as soon as she gave him a chance, he would attack immediately. Sinjing, didn't you start first? Arriving at the restaurant, Li Wu wanted to treat his girlfriend. She ordered some side dishes and the carbonated drink that he liked the most. Li Wu wasn't hungry because he wanted to admire his lover a little more. Sinjing wondered when he was young. Did Li Wu ever think he would love someone older? Girlfriend, before liking you, I didn't think about anything. Li Wu, why do you like me? Because I'm beautiful? My girlfriend is always the most beautiful. Sinjing happily rewarded her boyfriend with a grilled meat skewer. At the contact lens commercial shooting, Sinjing heard that the model suddenly had an eye infection. Just then, Li Wu delivered milk tea. Sinjing didn't need Lu Dong to find anyone anymore, because she had a model already. She pulled him backstage and handed him over to the makeup artist. A moment later, Sinjing almost didn't recognize her boyfriend. He only changed his hairstyle, and her heart was constantly fluttering. It was almost time to shoot, and Sinjing went to call Li Wu. Just then, he was buttoning his shirt in the dressing room. He heard his girlfriend wanting to help and pulled her inside. Li Wu, what do you want to do? Li Wu leaned down and captured his lover's lips. She was afraid of being caught by others, but she was powerless in the face of his intense kiss. Only when someone walked into the room to get something did they quickly separate. Waiting for the model to come out, the director told him to look straight into the lens to express his emotions. Li Wu stood behind the door, waiting to see the person he loved. The director found Li Wu directing his gaze towards Sinjing. He shouted cut and praised Li Wu's state as very good. But he had to pay attention and not glance around randomly. On the second take, Li Wu still couldn't control his gaze, because as long as Sinjing appeared, the whole world in his vision seemed to only have her. At the partners' party, Sinjing happened to meet Wu Fu again. The old boss reminded Wu Fu to work harder, because ever since Sinjing snatched the North Autocar project, she has pried away a lot of orders from us. Meeting Sinjing alone, Wu Fu praised the recent commercials as not bad, but he remembered that the idea for the outing makeup short video was his. Sinjing said that she was only following the requirements of the boss and the client. Wu Fu sarcastically said that Sinjing, who was always arrogant, was gradually compromising with reality. Meeting the boss, Sinjing questioned why he plagiarized Wu Fu's intellectual property. Shui remembered that at that time. The client requested to follow this idea. He understood Sinjing's mood, but business had to follow the client's wishes because without money, ideas were just on paper. Customers don't need to explain clearly to us, and superiors don't have to explain in detail to employees. Shui very much cherished Sinjing, but was also afraid of idealists like her. Tired from work, Sinjing snuggled into her lover's arms. Li Wu stood still and let her hug for a while. He had to study properly and not go to work too early because it was easy to be suppressed when entering society. Sister, I want to go to work early. Otherwise, how will I ever marry you? Boyfriend, are you old enough to get married legally yet? Sister, I will be old enough, as long as you're still willing to be with me at that time. Li Wu leaned down and gently took off Sinjing's shoes. He knew she was tired, so he carried his girlfriend into the house. He put her down on the sofa to rest, waiting for him to cook hangover soup. The next day, Li Wu had to stay at school. He had just left the library when he called his lover. The more Sinjing looked, the more she thought her boyfriend was really beautiful. She asked him, "Are you coming home this weekend?" But he asserted that he could come home right now. Just then, Lu Ying came to talk to Li Wu, and he quickly said, "I'm calling my girlfriend." Sinjing felt relieved after hearing this and turned off the phone to work. Li Wu was afraid that his lover would be jealous, so he texted to introduce that the person just now was the class president. The next day, Li Wu was invited to the department office. The head of the department said that this year, the department had 2 exchange student slots to the United States. Li Wu was outstanding in all aspects, and his thesis was about to be published in a journal. Therefore, the department decided to give him this opportunity. Li Wu wondered how long the exchange period was. He didn't expect the time abroad to be tight, and he had to go for 2 years. The head of the department also said that the academic exchange visa was usually associated with the entire duration of the course. If Li Wu wanted to return to the country midway, it would be a bit troublesome. Li Wu thought about the long-distance relationship, and his heart suddenly felt heavy. Returning home from work, Sinjing saw the slippers placed outside the door. She went in and watched her boyfriend sleeping soundly on the sofa. Li Wu woke up and said that he came back to change clothes. She wondered, "Did you come back just to change clothes?" "Sinjing, I missed you. I waited for half a day. Why did you only come back now?" Sinjing leaned back on the chair, really not wanting to bring negative emotions home. But she confided that she was about to be unemployed. "Sinjing, no matter what you choose, I will support you." Just then, Chung Rue texted, congratulating Li Wu on winning the exchange student slot. Li Wu quickly put away his phone because he didn't want Sinjing to worry more. Knowing his girlfriend was tired, Li Wu diligently went home more often. He cooked a whole table of food, all the dishes she liked, but she still complained about the carrots. Even though he had cut them very small, Li Wu had to patiently pick all the carrots out of his girlfriend's plate. He announced that his thesis had been approved for publication by the journal. Sinjing praised her talented lover, agreeing to reward him with something. "Sinjing, let me organize your birthday this year." Sinjing began to look forward to this year's special birthday gift. While searching for romantic travel locations, Sinjing received a call from the head of the department. He hoped that the family would persuade Li Wu not to give up the opportunity to study in the United States. Waiting for Li Wu to return home, Sinjing asked him how long he was going to pretend to be stupid. She said that these past few days, she had been waiting for him to take the initiative to say why he gave up the opportunity to study in the United States. Li Wu admitted that from the beginning, he didn't intend to go. Sinjing asked if he was afraid of a long-distance relationship or afraid that she would change her mind. "Sinjing, don't you miss me?" Sinjing was sure that she would miss Li Wu very much, but that longing was nothing compared to his future. Moreover, she would work hard to be with him. Sinjing said that a famous media company in the United States was recruiting people. She had asked a friend working there to help her submit her application. "Li Wu, we can choose our future life together." Sinjing asked for the address of the exchange school to rent a house near her boyfriend. Li Wu felt happy because she had him in her future plans, waiting for her boyfriend to receive the admission notice. Sinjing arranged to go shopping for the necessary items together. She reported that she was almost done with the resignation procedures, and she also scheduled appointments to apply for a visa and passport. "Let's open a foreign bank account and go shopping." Before going abroad, Sinjing wanted to find a reliable housekeeping service. She was afraid that if she was gone for a whole year, she couldn't just rely on Chun Shuang to take care of her parents. Li Wu looked at his girlfriend, carrying only a few sets of clothes. How was that enough? Sinjing planned to buy new clothes in the United States. "Sinjing, out with the old, in with the new." Sinjing advised Li Wu to be even better to her, otherwise she would replace him. She hoped that after finishing some trivial matters, she would go to the company to resign and hand over her work. Finally, Sinjing left Outing Media. Everyone regretted it. A creative director who was dedicated to her work. Arriving at the dormitory to find her boyfriend, Sinjing reported that she was free. She rarely had a day off, so she came to pick him up for a date. She wanted to experience what his day was like. Taking his girlfriend to the lecture hall, Li Wu chose a seat in the upper row. She saw that he was distracted and reminded him to focus on the lecture. After class, Li Wu often played basketball. Sinjing now knew that besides books, his appearance playing sports was also excellent. Sitting under the schoolyard, Li Wu missed university. But as long as he could be with the person he loved, he could let go of everything. Pulling his girlfriend to the bus stop, Li Wu said, "I'm always in such a hurry because I want to go home and see you a little faster." Coincidentally, Luing also took the bus. Thinking Sinjing was a teacher at the school, Li Wu introduced, "This is my girlfriend." Luing praised Li Wu for being trendy, even loving someone older. She also wanted to sit in front of the high school gate to bring home a younger brother like him. Li Wu corrected that he was the one who brought home the girlfriend first. Sinjing praised Li Wu for performing well, deserving a reward. Waiting to get home, Li Wu hugged Sinjing tightly. He thanked her for giving him a special day. "Sinjing, does the reward you mentioned at the bus stop still count?" Sinjing understood the meaning and proactively gave Li Wu a kiss. He immediately seized the opportunity, responding to her with a more passionate kiss. They pressed against the wall, their breaths entwined, the kiss gradually becoming frantic, as if wanting to swallow each other. On the warm bed, they watched a romantic movie together. A cool breeze gently blew through, causing Li Wu to gradually fall asleep on Sinjing's shoulder. She gently urged him to lie down and then bent over to place a goodnight kiss on his lips. She wished that time could stop so that the moment of quietly admiring his face could last forever. But when she couldn't hold on to time, she only had a way to capture that peaceful beauty to keep for herself. Arriving to pick up his girlfriend, Li Wu saw Sinjing meeting Shinjun. She said that a colleague came to see her off abroad. Chun Shuang told Li Wu to remember to take care of himself in the United States. He guaranteed that he would take good care of Sinjing too. On the way home, Sinjing told Li Wu that if he wasn't used to the dormitory abroad, he could rent a house near the school. He promised to go to New York to find her after completing the enrollment procedures. While packing her suitcase, Sinjing didn't need Li Wu to fold her clothes. He accidentally dropped her bag, which contained the equity agreement of Shengkin Media Company. Li Wu asked Sinjing, "What did I do wrong in the end?" She said that from the beginning, she didn't intend to go abroad. He remembered that they had planned their future life together. He was afraid that he had done something wrong that made her unhappy. "Li Wu, you didn't do anything wrong, and I don't want to break up with you. But I don't know how to convince you not to give up the opportunity to study abroad. Sinjing, I just want to be with you completely. You let me go for 2 years. Isn't that like breaking up? Li Wu, even if we are separated by 2 places, the connection between us will not disappear. I just don't want you to give up the opportunity to broaden your horizons because of a momentary impulse. But Sinjing, those are all your thoughts. In my heart, the most important person is you. Can you not impose your thoughts on me? Li Wu, if we weren't in love, I wouldn't interfere with your decisions. But I love you, so I can't stand by and watch you give up the opportunity because of me. I don't want to become a rope that binds your life." Li Wu lost control, throwing all the items out of the suitcase. He accused her of deceiving him into applying for the opportunity to go abroad for the second time. He was afraid that the 2-year period was too long and many things would happen. "Li Wu, you once said you wanted to step out of the mountain. So where's your ambition?" "Sinjing, I have a plan. Why can't you trust me? Moreover, based on what you decide for me?" "Li Wu, if I didn't decide, you would still be in Yinfeng village right now. Li Wu, think for yourself. Sister, I just want to be with you. That's all. Li Wu, let's break up." "Wait a minute, Sinjing, what do you mean in the end? Do you not need me anymore? We are in love. I don't regret it, and you are not allowed to regret it. But Li Wu, I regret it. I originally thought that being together was for both of us to get better, not to turn you into someone who lost all reason." "Wait a minute, sister. I beg you. Li Wu, breaking up only requires one person to agree." "Sister, I don't want to break up. Sister, please don't leave me." In the middle of the night, Sinjing pulled her suitcase home. Li Wu quickly ran outside, but couldn't keep the person he loved. Li Wu read a message on the table that Sinjing was going to Chen Shuang's house for a few days. She would return after he left. At the bar, Chen Shuang organized a birthday party for Sinjing. Cheng Rui also came to convey Li Wu's words, wishing her a happy birthday. Sinjing remembered promising to celebrate her birthday with Li Wu. Returning home, Sinjing looked everywhere and saw fleeting glimpses of Li Wu. The longing rose bit by bit, tightly wrapping around her heart, hurting until it shattered. She quietly reread the list of his preferences and taboos, and realized that what he wanted most was for her to live fully as she wished. She put on the watch, a birthday gift he had secretly prepared long ago. The moment the second hand moved slightly, her tears also fell, choked up and unable to restrain them. Sometime later, Sinjing co-founded a company with Shunjun. But this new beginning couldn't ease the sadness in Sinjing's heart. On the way home, Sinjing suddenly heard a familiar, warm voice. She looked up and caught Li Wu's loving gaze in a commercial. Only then did she truly realize that he had left, leaving a deep void in her heart that could never be filled. In 2024, Sinjing encountered Li Wu's car. She deliberately avoided him, not knowing that he had discovered her long ago. At the audition for a monologue, Li Wu suddenly saw a fleeting image of the past before his eyes. Memories flooded back, each wave surging uncontrollably. He had to borrow alcohol to force the longing to sink deep into his heart. After more than 10 days of not seeing each other, Chen Shuang guessed that Guiyang missed her very much. He didn't drink alcohol at the club in order to take her home. Guiyang opened the car door and unbuckled Chen Shuang's seatbelt. He accidentally spilled her cup of coffee and quickly went to throw out the trash. Chen Shuang accidentally discovered a box of fruit that Ming had given to a stray kitten. She questioned, "Didn't you say you don't watch live streams?" She didn't wait for an answer and locked her lips tightly on Guiyang. He paused for a beat and then lunged in to respond strongly. Waking up in bed, Chen Shuang didn't see Guiyang. He left a message telling her to eat breakfast. He had urgent matters and had to go to the research institute early. On this side, Li Wu was annoyed that Sinjing was avoiding him. Just then, the delivery man arrived. Li Wu heard that Sinjing had ordered fresh food but asked the delivery man to leave it outside the door. He decided to stand there for a moment and pretend to close the door. As expected, Sinjing opened the door a crack to get the food. He reminded her to move a little closer to reach it. She wondered why she had to feel guilty. In the new communication plan, Shunkin Company invited customers to watch a short film explaining the flavor of love. It was simply the sunset of an autumn day. He put a blanket over her. The flavor of love was the unchanged perfume, the whispered words and dreams. Sinjing realized that the love between her and Li Wu still hadn't changed. In the pouring rain, Sinjing drove to see Li Wu. She called Li Wu, agreeing to give him an answer. But before she could express all her feelings, The phone ran out of battery. Li Wu worriedly ran to find Sinjing. He called Lu Dong, only to learn that Sinjing was heading towards Li Tang Road. Just then, Sinjing's car broke down in the middle of the road. She stood on the side with an umbrella, trying to hitchhike in the increasingly strong wind. Suddenly, the wind blew the umbrella out of her hand. At that moment, Li Wu managed to catch it. He rushed over without hesitation, wrapping his arms tightly around Sinjing. All the distance between the two shattered, leaving only the heartbeat harmonizing in a love that had never faded. Bringing Sinjing into the car safely, Li Wu bought her a cup of hot milk. He carelessly forgot to mention that the water was just boiled, causing her to almost burn her tongue. Li Wu flusteredly apologized, and Sinjing only smiled. He looked at her and softly said, "Sinjing, let's go home together." In the underground garage, Dr. Lu couldn't get through to Sinjing. Just then, he saw Li Wu bringing her back. The intimate gestures between them made him know that he had no chance anymore. After changing clothes, Li Wu immediately dried Sinjing's hair. Suddenly, her gaze made him stop. His heart seemed to skip a beat in a short moment. Only when she softly cried out that it was hot did he startledly adjust the temperature. "Sinjing, I'm sorry about what happened before. You have the right to like anyone, and I shouldn't use my health to tie you down. Li Wu, let's get back together." Li Wu was stunned, not believing his ears. "Li Wu, I originally thought I had decided and wouldn't turn back, but in the past time, I couldn't ignore your existence. So, do you still want to be with me?" Mixed emotions made Li Wu speechless. He was very happy, but also very uncomfortable because he seemed to have no limits. As long as she called, he would come back right away. Sinjing blamed herself for not calling him back sooner, but she remembered that he wanted to give up on her earlier. Li Wu said that he hadn't finished speaking yet. "Sinjing, if you choose someone else, I won't bother you. But in this life, even if I die, I will only like you." Sinjing gently touched Li Wu's lips, as if to shut his mouth. Li Wu was stunned for a short breath, and then all the restraint of months suddenly burst. He kissed her deeply as a confirmation that they still belonged to each other. At the archery club, Sinjing praised Dr. Lu for improving, but today, he seemed to be shooting faster than usual. Sinjing said that at first, she chose archery because things that she could hold in her hands made her feel safe. But recently, she had a new feeling, like how he shot very well just now without thinking much. She realized that only by following her heart could she find the right direction. Dr. Lu reported that the hospital had sent him abroad for further study, and he hoped to remain good friends with Sinjing in the future. At the company, Sinjing was preparing to present a comprehensive advertising idea. The leadership team of Dongshan came to review the plan. Shenjun didn't know that Director Li would also participate, so she asked Sinjing to order another glass of water. Li Wu guessed that Director Shun had misunderstood, so he let Sinjing avoid him. He didn't dare to trouble the creative director to get water for him. He thought everyone knew each other, so he arranged the seats comfortably. Director Li was cold on the surface, but secretly held his girlfriend's hand underneath. Sinjing texted, reminding her boyfriend not to mess around. Stopping by a familiar restaurant, the owner recognized that Sinjing and her sister used to come to eat often. He asked Li Wu why he didn't get tan at all after studying in Africa. Li Wu didn't expect his girlfriend to push him all the way to Africa. He blankly watched her order food. Sinjing still kept the habit of drinking beer, and she also ordered juice for Li Wu. She unexpectedly pulled his hand to share this sweet and refreshing juice. At the bar, Chun Shuang hadn't heard back from Guiyang. She heard that he hadn't forgotten his old love, so he wasn't intimate with any girl. Chun Shuang was aroused to compete, asserting that she wasn't the type of person bound by a relationship either. She thought that love was only interesting in the ambiguous stage. Guiyang, after hearing this, left disappointed. Seeing the radiant look on Sinjing's face, Shenjun guessed that she had good news. Shenjun recognized the double butterfly keychain, reserved for couples deeply in love. Sinjing texted, asking her boyfriend when he secretly changed her keychain. Li Wu praised that using couple items gave him a sense of intimacy. Coincidentally meeting Gu Yang at the restaurant, Chun Shuang asked him why he hadn't contacted her. He claimed to be busy and asked to leave first. Chun Shuang blocked his way, questioning whether he was afraid of taking responsibility or felt that he was at a disadvantage. She thought that they were all adults, and crossing the line was very normal. Chun Shuang, do you think crossing the line is very normal? Seeing her boyfriend cooking breakfast, Sinjing hugged him tightly. Li Wu discovered that she was wearing his shirt. He demanded a good morning kiss, but she hadn't finished her personal hygiene yet. Waiting for his girlfriend to come out, Li Wu reported that he had to go on a business trip for a few days. He had prepared food, leaving it in the refrigerator for her. Sinjing praised that her boyfriend's cooking skills were still the same as before. He asked her to get him a cup of coffee. Sinjing discovered a small gift box, realizing that Li Wu also celebrated their one-month reunion. She thought that he didn't need to keep finding ways to surprise her because she already had the biggest gift. Just then, Sinjing's mother came to visit her daughter. They both hurriedly cleaned up, and Li Wu fled into the room. Mrs. Tin saw that Sinjing had forgotten her clothes at home, so she conveniently brought them to her daughter. Sinjing quickly stopped her, but couldn't prevent her from entering the room. Fortunately, Mr. Tsin hadn't discovered Li Wu yet. Sinjing made an excuse that it was messy, urging her mother to leave quickly. She searched the room, still not seeing Li Wu. It turned out that he was hiding in a closet. Li Wu, seeing his girlfriend daring to laugh at him, punished her with a kiss. Sinjing heard her mother calling and was about to run out, but Li Wu wouldn't let her escape from his lips. Sinjing pushed him away, and just then, her mother opened the door and remembered the clay pot on top of the closet. Li Wu sat in the closet, smiling happily. He saw a button broken from pulling his girlfriend's shirt outside. Mrs. Tin asked her daughter if she wasn't cold in just a shirt. She urged her daughter to sew the shirt, but she lost a button. Sinjing made an excuse that she had to meet colleagues to flatter her mother to leave first. But Mrs. Tin wanted to stay for a while. She heard her daughter politely chasing her away, so she had to wash her hands and leave. Sinjing was startled because her mother went straight into the bathroom in her room. Mrs. Sin discovered the new men's shampoo, finally understanding her daughter's intentions. She came out and told her daughter to treat her colleagues well. Finally, Li Wu was able to come out. Sinjing asked him if he was full after eating corn. She apologized for being afraid that her mother would find out, so she hurriedly hid him. Li Wu wondered when they would make their love public. Sinjing worried that for many years, her parents had always treated Li Wu like their own son. She was afraid that they wouldn't be able to accept it if they knew they were in love. Moreover, her mother wanted her to marry someone older. Li Wu felt that keeping it a secret wasn't bad either. It was quite thrilling like just now. Attending a technology exchange conference, Li Wu, representing Dong Chun, shared about the application model of artificial intelligence and environmental protection. He met Professor Liu Xiao, who used to teach him abroad. He expressed his concern that the competition was too great, making him want to speed up the research progress. Professor Liu Xiao said that Li Wu was always striving for progress, but sometimes haste makes waste. The professor arranged for Li Wu to attend a roundtable forum with him tomorrow. He had a text Sinjing, reporting that he would be home a day late. Unexpectedly, she was standing right behind him. Li Wu happily pulled his girlfriend away. Sinjing reminded Director Li to pay attention to the environment. She didn't expect his appearance on stage to be so radiant. She pulled his tie to gently touch the lips of the outstanding man. On this side, Cheng Rui happened to meet Wanwen again. She reminded him not to call her by her intimate name in public. Cheng Rui blamed his wife for returning home without telling him. Wanwen wanted to see her husband's surprised, puppy-like appearance. She reported that the company had assigned her to be in charge of the new issue in City, holding hands and strolling at night. Sinjing praised Li Wu's Yin 2 system as really meaningful. He revealed that Yin 2 was a painting of Yunfeng village. Although his childhood there was very difficult, there were still many beautiful memories. Especially, he could meet her. Therefore, he hoped that more fresh places like Yunfeng village could heal more people. Sinjing wondered why Li Wu installed a very strange game on her phone. He said that he personally wrote that program. She questioned him for daring to steal her information. Li Wu quickly explained. Sinjing just needed to enter her wishes, and the application would remind him to fulfill them. Li Wu even set the program to run for 100 years. Sinjing burst out laughing, asking him if he had planned their future yet. Li Wu wanted to stabilize his career by the age of 30 to be worthy of standing next to Sinjing. Returning to the hotel, they both rewatched an old movie. Just then, Sinjing received a wedding invitation. She didn't want to go because Wu Fu would definitely bring his girlfriend. Sinjing, it's not like you don't have a boyfriend. But Sinjing didn't want to waste time on this. Li Wu went to the bathroom, just as the bride called Sinjing. She remembered that their last collaboration was very smooth, so she told Sinjing to attend the wedding. Returning to his old home to comfort his father, Chun Shuang heard her mother almost had to leave. She said that her stepson had caused trouble at school, so she had to go urgently. Chun Shuang understood. Her mother was busy with many young children, but why was it that every time it was Father's Memorial Day? She always had something to do. She remembered that when he was alive, he didn't treat her mother badly. Her mother's new family didn't even have a place for her, and her mother didn't even know that she hated eating lotus root soup. Arriving at the restaurant, Chun Shuang ordered a lot of her favorite dishes. Coincidentally, Guyang also came to eat. He couldn't stand by and watch her eat until she choked. Chun Shuang suddenly had severe stomach pain and fainted into Guyang's arms. Waiting for Chun Shuang to wake up, Guyang reported that she had a stomach spasm. Chun Shuang confided that her mother only remembered her stepson's tastes. So, after earning money, she had to eat whatever she liked to her heart's content. Today, She abandoned her father's Memorial Day just because her darling son was fighting at school. In the past 10 years, she had rarely visited his grave. Guiyang thought that if Chen Shuang's mother didn't care, she wouldn't have bothered coming all the way here. Visiting her father's grave, Chen Shuang knew that her mother had been there. She couldn't hold back her tears, burying her head on Guiyang's shoulder. Returning to East City, Li Wu sped up the completion of the system. He welcomed CEO Guo to audit the company. Dongchen's technology finally successfully received the second round of investment. Just then, Li Wu received a message reporting to back up his girlfriend at 3 p.m. Arriving at the wedding, Xin Jing indeed met Wu Fu again. He came over to report that he had found happiness, and also hoped that she would soon have her own harbor. Wu Fu's new wife became jealous. Intending to splash wine on Xin Jing, Li Wu managed to appear in time, pulling his girlfriend into his arms. He took the opportunity to introduce himself as Xin Jing's official boyfriend. The friends all admired Xin Jing for having such a perfect boyfriend. On this side, Chen Shuang came to pick up Guiyang from his business trip. She blamed him for being so busy with work that he didn't have enough time to text. Guiyang explained, "There was no signal in the mountains. I still have insect bites on my hand, but luckily you prepared a lot of tonics." Chen Shuang wondered if Guiyang heard what she said at the bar. Guiyang acknowledged it, but still wanted to date her seriously. While practicing dancing, Mrs. Xin went to Xin Jing's personal page to introduce her daughter to her friends. She watched the wedding video in the comments and discovered that Xin Jing was close to Li Wu. Visiting her daughter, Mr. Xin couldn't open the lock. Li Wu, who was right across the street, came out to help. Mr. Xin wondered why he still knew Xin Jing's house code by heart. He said that she occasionally asked him to receive express deliveries, so she repeated the password to him. Mrs. Xin remembered that Li Wu had moved to the apartment across the street a long time ago, but she hadn't visited him. She wanted to take the opportunity to see his living situation. She praised the neat and elegant apartment, just the style she liked. She asked Li Wu directly if he had gone to the wedding with Xin Jing. He hesitated and said that she had to congratulate an old partner, so she asked him to attend with her. Mrs. Xin saw the white shirt on the chair also had the same missing button as Xin Jing's. She made an excuse that she had some work to do and had to leave early. Returning home from work, Xin Jing rang the doorbell to her lover's house. She took the opportunity to suggest inviting the handsome guy out to eat. Li Wu, seeing this, quickly released his hand from his girlfriend's waist. Mrs. Xin heard her daughter craving rice and urged her to go home to eat it while it was hot. She reminded Xin Jing that when Li Wu was born, she could already go buy soy sauce for her mother. Besides age, they also had differences in family background and living environment. Meeting her husband, Mrs. Xin reported that Xin Jing loved Li Wu. Mr. Xin thought that his daughter was grown up, and as parents, they should only offer advice, not forbid their children. Mrs. Xin felt that the age difference would make her daughter suffer, so she wouldn't agree even if she was beaten to death. Calling his girlfriend, Li Wu asked if she was very angry. Xin Jing understood that her mother was just putting on a strong front, and it would be fine when she cooled down. Li Wu knew that if he was more mature, she wouldn't worry so much. Xin Jing thought that compared to people his age, Li Wu was already very mature. Li Wu, no matter what difficulties we encounter, we will face them together. Before sending the program to the investors, Li Wu reminded each department to patch all the minor bugs. He would always be in the office to solve problems at any time. But at the critical moment, the technical team leader named Chen Yang resigned. Although Li Wu agreed to more conditions, he still couldn't keep him. On this side, Xin Jing went to see her father. She admitted that she loved Li Wu. Before he went abroad, she hesitated and resisted, but still succumbed to his sincerity. Afterwards, she learned that he had given up the opportunity to go abroad and decided to break up. Mr. Xin wondered what was so attractive about Xiao Wu that Xin Jing couldn't forget. Xin Jing thought that Li Wu was the only person who gave her the feeling of being loved fiercely. No matter what happened, he always firmly chose her. That brought her a sense of security. Mr. Xin, after hearing this, suddenly felt relieved, because he only wanted his daughter to be happy. And if they were separated for a long time and still came back, it proved that they truly loved each other. Returning home, Xin Jing saw that her mother had moved in with her. She made an excuse that she was free, so she came to cook for her daughter. She watched her daughter run back to her room and sent a video analyzing age gap relationships. Late at night, Li Wu finished work. Just then, Xin Jing called, reporting that her father supported her choice. Li Wu said that he missed his girlfriend so much that he couldn't sleep. Xin Jing, I want to hug you. Li Wu heard his girlfriend agree to come out and happily went upstairs. Xin Jing waited for her mother to fall asleep before daring to open the door and snuggle into her boyfriend's arms. Li Wu also cherished the moment of hugging his lover tightly. Just then, they heard the elevator bell, and they hurriedly ran into the house. He leaned down to kiss her to relieve all the longing. Li Wu heard his aunt coughing and pulled Sinjing over to his house. Waking up in the morning, Sinjing wanted to go home before her mother woke up, but Li Wu pulled her to stay with him a little longer. She asked him if he had a headache lately, because he was busy. He said that he was cured because he had taken a specific medicine. He told his girlfriend to kiss him on the cheek before she could leave the bed. Arriving at the company, Li Wu heard that a competitor had just launched an artificial intelligence environmental protection system. Just then, Lao Jia texted, reporting that he would withdraw investment from Dongchun. Cheng Rue guessed that Lao Jia was playing tricks, but he didn't understand technology. Li Wu already knew why Qingyang suddenly resigned. Meeting the lawyer, Li Wu heard that it was very difficult to sue for copyright infringement. Because Dongchun hadn't completed the production process, it was difficult to prove that the other party had stolen the system. If the lawsuit could last up to 2 years. Just then, CEO was called to report that he would withdraw investment but not pursue Dongchun's responsibility, letting his girlfriend wait for a long time. Li Wu asked the little girl to give her flowers to appease her. Sinjing, seeing Li Wu distracted, asked if he was still worried that her mother was opposed. She believed that as long as they were firm, her mother would definitely be moved. Moreover, now he was young and talented, and many mothers-in-law in the People's Square were vying to snatch him. Li Wu wondered if Sinjing wanted to find a date in the People's Square. She confessed that she was curious, so she went with Chun Shuang once. Just then, a senior called, reporting that only the county science company agreed to invest in Dongchun, but Li Wu immediately refused. He didn't even want to accept a single penny from them. On the way home, Li Wu still wanted to stroll a little more. Sinjing complained that her boyfriend was clingy, making him afraid of bothering her. Sinjing probed, "Is the company in trouble?" Li Wu only said that there was a loophole, so it needed time to be resolved. Before the door, Li Wu asked his girlfriend to come to his room for a while. Sinjing coaxed her boyfriend. Just then, her mother came out. They quickly ran into the elevator. Luckily, they weren't caught by her mother. Li Wu asked Sinjing, "Do you love me?" Unexpectedly, she pushed him away and took the stairs. To prevent her mother from seeing her, she shouted loudly, "I love you," making Li Wu smile. The next day, Li Wu heard the accountant say that the company's account couldn't last until the next salary month. He had to ask a friend to help him sell his car. Just then, Cheng Rue reported that he was in the hospital. Wanwen praised her husband for his good tolerance, drinking until he was poisoned. Cheng Rue wanted to share the burden with Li Wu, borrowing money only after entertaining the guests well. Wanwen gave her husband 1 million yuan, which was the money her mother gave the couple to buy a house. She warned him that if he dared to sell his life for money again, she wouldn't hold a wedding again. Cheng Rue asked for more time to manage. If he was desperate, he would use his wife's money. Just then, a friend texted Li Wu that the county science side still wanted to meet him, coincidentally meeting her boyfriend on the way home. Sinjing picked him up to run away. She had read the news that Lao Jia had jumped ship to the county science company. She guessed that Lu Hong wasn't as simple as he said. Li Wu said that Lao Jia brought the first-generation Yin 2 system to county science. Hearing this, the investors requested to withdraw their investment. He wanted to sue, but it was time-consuming and expensive. If he didn't have any money left, he was afraid he would have to close the company. Sinjing thought that every entrepreneurial path was bumpy. It didn't represent his ability. But Sinjing, I'm afraid I'll fail and no longer be qualified to bring you happiness. Li Wu, are you going to accept the unreasonable conditions of the county science side? If you give up your ideals for me, you will only create a time bomb in our relationship. Li Wu, my happiness doesn't depend on your achievements, so any sacrifice is irresponsible for this relationship. Meeting Lao Jia, Li Wu punished himself for being late. Lao Jia thought that he would need an 8-person sedan chair to carry Li Tong. Li Wu thanked Lao Jia for still helping Dongchun in its most difficult time. Lao Jia acknowledged that people had to experience some hardship to know where they were. Seeing Li Wu so drunk that he vomited, Cheng Rue blamed his friend for making things difficult for himself, because Lao Jia clearly only wanted to see their jokes. Li Wu revealed the recording, Lao Jia admitting to using Dongchen's system as a gift to county science. He would hand over the evidence along with Chun Yang's history of accessing the company's internal network. He was sure that they would have to bear the crime of revealing commercial secrets. Just then, Cheng Rue called for a driver to replace him, but they had both sold their cars to take care of the company. Returning to the apartment, Li Wu wanted to go in to see his girlfriend, but he remembered that her mother was still there. Just then, she came out to see him, immediately closing the door. Sinjing, worried about Li Wu, disregarded everything and ran over to take care of him. While vaguely conscious due to the alcohol, Li Wu still wanted to touch the person he loved. Sinjing gently pulled the blanket, coaxing him to fall asleep. Li Wu woke up in the middle of the night and saw his girlfriend cooking hangover soup for him. He hugged her tightly to make sure he wasn't dreaming, but he had to urge her to go back lest her mother be unhappy. Sinjing said, "Don't worry. Every day by your side, I feel very happy." Li Wu lifted his girlfriend onto the table because every time she revealed her emotions, she was extremely charming. Tonight, he wanted to immerse himself in her charm, knowing that Li Wu hadn't raised the funds. Gu Yang reported that he had introduced the Yun-2 system to the city's Ecological Environment Bureau. Just then, they were launching a key environmental protection project, so they invited Dong Chun to participate in the bidding. Cheng Rue thought that if they succeeded, they would be backed by the government in the future. Looking at the heavy rain outside, Chun Shuang sighed, "We can't go stargazing?" Gu Yang then turned on the projector to camp indoors. Chun Shuang rewarded her boyfriend with 1,000 kisses, but he wanted more than that. Unexpectedly, Chun Shuang's mother went to the wedding and conveniently visited her daughter. Gu Yang introduced himself as Chun Shuang's boyfriend, currently working at the Environmental Research Institute. Chun Shuang, hearing her mother continue to investigate, politely asked her lover to leave. Working together, Li Wu still didn't forget to take care of his girlfriend. They were just like 8 years ago, working hard together for the future of both of them. After submitting the bidding plan, Cheng Rue invited everyone to eat. But Li Wu was busy picking up his girlfriend, and Gu Yang had a date with someone else. Cheng Rue called one to show off that he also had a wife. Unexpectedly, she was busy working overtime and didn't have time to entertain him. Arriving to pick up his girlfriend, Li Wu wanted to hug her for a moment to recharge. He promised to buy back the car when the company was more stable. Sinjing thought that she had a car and would pick up her boyfriend. Just then, the restaurant staff invited them to try the cake. If they spent enough 150 yuan, they could get a free photo. Li Wu took Sinjing to buy cake just to take a picture together. He took the opportunity, when his girlfriend wasn't paying attention, to place a kiss on her hair. He remembered that he paid the money, so he should keep this sweet photo. But he couldn't beat his girlfriend, so he had to ask her to take a commemorative photo with the picture. The next day, Cheng Rue reported that Dong Chun passed the preliminary round of bidding. The entire company erupted in joy, feeling that all the nights of working overtime were rewarded. Just then, Wang Wen came to visit her husband. She revealed that after the article she wrote about Dong Chun, the investment company Xian Shang was very interested in the Yin-2 system. They asked her to connect them to talk to the founding team of Dong Chun to help her boyfriend shine in the live bidding session. Sinjing took him shopping for a vest. She praised herself for being skillful, choosing an outfit that seemed to be custom-made for him. Li Wu saw his girlfriend tying his tie, just like a wife taking care of her husband before he left for work. At the bidding session, Li Wu shone in the eyes of the girls. Cheng Rue asked his friend if he was calling for investment or attracting butterflies. Li Wu proudly said, "My girlfriend personally chose this for me, but he was a bit nervous because this was a big opportunity for Dong Chun." Returning to the company, Li Wu was congratulated by the entire company, but he remembered that the bidding results wouldn't be out for a few days. Just then, Cheng Rue ran in, urging his best friend to quickly check his friend circle. It turned out that Sinjing had posted a photo publicly announcing her relationship with Li Wu. He was overjoyed, celebrating the victory with his best friend. Holding flowers and waiting for his girlfriend, Li Wu asked her why she suddenly made their relationship public. She revealed that she hadn't blocked anyone, but Li Wu worried that her mother wouldn't be happy. Sinjing remembered that the first time Li Wu called, she misheard his name as a gift. Unexpectedly, he really became a special gift for her. "Li Wu, thank you for coming to my side." "Sinjing, I should be the one thanking you." "Sinjing, thank you for letting me come to your side." On this side, Chun Shuang was annoyed because her mother kept calling to urge her to get married. She discovered that Gu Yang wasn't listening to her, so she angrily chased him out. But she couldn't sleep and called him. Unexpectedly, Gu Yang turned off his phone, making Chun Shuang want to find him to settle the score. It turned out that Gu Yang was still sitting outside the door, and his phone was out of battery. He asked her, "Why are you angry with me in the end?" "Shun Gu Yang, do you intend to marry me?" "Chun Shuang, are you ready for marriage?" "As for me, from the beginning, I wanted to walk to the end of the road with you. If you are ready, I can propose at any time." Waking up in the middle of the night, Sinjing didn't see Li Wu in bed. He said that he was writing the draft for the next bidding round. Li Wu wanted to meet her parents as Sinjing's boyfriend. No matter what they were like, he should shield her in front. He would admit to pursuing her first, forcing her to be with him. But Sinjing thought that her parents understood her very well. No one in the world could force Sinjing unless she was willing. The next day, Li Wu heard the news that he had passed the second bidding round. But Dong Chun had to compete with County Science in the final round. Although they didn't participate in the preliminary round, they were specially admitted to the final. After a whole day of focusing on work, Li Wu realized that his phone was out of battery. He quickly charged it and read a series of messages from his girlfriend. He immediately ran home and saw that she had fallen asleep on the sofa. He quietly sat beside her, affectionately kissing her cheek. Sinjing woke up and snuggled into her boyfriend's arms. Sinjing gifted him a walkie-talkie, so they could still communicate when his phone ran out of batteries. Sinjing immediately reported that she was safely sitting on the bed. Li Wu praised the good signal. He would be sure not to miss any calls from her. Li Wu gradually shortened the distance, from 20 meters to no meters with his girlfriend. He lay on the bed, watching her sleeping soundly. Sinjing woke up, guessing that Li Wu was nervous before tomorrow's presentation. She taught him how to breathe deeply to reduce the pressure. Li Wu gradually felt sleepy, but still had to hug his girlfriend tightly to sleep well. At the final bidding round, Li Wu presented the value of the Yun 2 system. He pointed out the existing problems of the large models, but Dong Chun could overcome them perfectly. While waiting for the results, Lao Jia heard that Li Wu had sold his car. He offered Li Wu a ride, so he wouldn't have to take the subway. Lao Jia advised everyone to pack up early because Dong Chen's bid would definitely not be approved. Just then, the organizing committee announced that they had the official results. They decided to choose Dong Chen's technology because the Yun 2 system showed advanced technology. Especially with the advantage of saving energy, Li Wu refused to take the ride because he wasn't going the same way as Lao Jia. Officially meeting his girlfriend's parents, Li Wu was a bit nervous. He saw his uncle fixing the lamp and rushed over to help. After he finished installing the lamp, he hurried to help his aunt cook. Mrs. Sin made an excuse to forget to buy soda, to call Li Wu to go to the supermarket together. She had read Li Wu's letter, feeling his sincerity. For her daughter's sake, she was willing to trust that Li Wu could bring happiness to Sinjing. But she wanted him to remember clearly that she would never allow her daughter to suffer a second time. She handed Li Wu a tissue because he was so nervous that he was sweating. On this side, Sinjing heard her father say that Li Wu had sent a letter to her mother. She ran in to see the file, which included all of his certificates of merit. In the letter, he wanted to apologize for having to use this method to talk to them. Dear uncle and aunt, I've been an orphan since I was 5 years old. Afterwards, my grandfather also passed away. I was originally like other orphans, able to see the future outcome. Fortunately, I had you too, so I have today. My love for Sinjing is accidental and even more inevitable because she is the best person in the world. Sinjing pulled me out of the mud and helped me to be reborn. She cares for and protects me, preventing all my mistakes. Her meaning in my heart far exceeds simple male and female emotions. She is like a lamp, lighting up my whole life. During the years of separation, my longing only made me more certain of my feelings for her. Therefore, I want to maintain the bright light, giving her a love that will never change. Urging her boyfriend to go back to work overtime, Sinjing discovered that he had forgotten to bring his jacket. She accidentally saw a wedding ring order form in his pocket. Just then, Li Wu came back to wish his girlfriend goodnight. Talking to her best friend, Sinjing wasn't prepared for marriage. Chun Shuang asked Sinjing if she didn't feel happy. Sinjing admitted that she was very touched, but also worried because she had already been married once, while Li Wu was getting married for the first time. She was very satisfied with the present and didn't want to develop so quickly. Just then, Li Wu came down from the terrace, acting very ambiguous with Cheng Rue. Chun Shuang told her best friend to prepare herself because Li Wu definitely had something going on. On the way home, Sinjing said that she was working on a wedding ring advertising project. She wanted to ask Li Wu's opinion on marriage to gather more information. Li Wu was looking forward to marriage because he felt happy to be connected to the person he loved. To him, marriage was like a lighthouse that he wanted to reach. But Sinjing thought that love or marriage shouldn't be Li Wu's lighthouse. He needed to put himself first, then think about marriage. Arriving at the gathering for dinner, Chun Shuang knew that someone had booked the entire restaurant. Sinjing went to the terrace, indeed seeing Li Wu preparing a proposal. Sinjing reminded her boyfriend to remember the agreement they made in the car. He had to learn to put himself first before considering marriage. Li Wu quickly calmed his girlfriend to give space to the two main characters. It turned out that this was Gu Yang's proposal. Chun Shuang, thank you for recklessly barging into my world. You said that you spent a lot of time pursuing me. But in fact, I spent more time avoiding a truth that from the first meeting, I was attracted to you. I was afraid that the time wasn't right. Afraid that you would feel reluctant. But I want to give you a choice. Chun Shuang blamed Gu Yang for dressing up so smartly, while Ming hadn't had time to put on makeup and wear a gorgeous dress. So may I ask, will the girl who isn't wearing a dress agree to marry this scheming man? Gu Yang, I agree. On the way home, Sinjing was still touched for her best friend. Li Wu wanted to look closely at Sinjing's eyes to see if she was disappointed at all. Sinjing, I am willing to think about our future with you. Returning to Yun Feng village together, Sinjing met Secretary Cheng again. Li Wu reminded Sinjing to call her village chief. Li Shui said that when Li Wu had just returned to the country, He used Sinjing's name to build a library in Yunfeng village. Sinjing was touched, urging her boyfriend to quickly take her to see it. Arriving at the library, Sinjing met many children diligently reading books. Li Wu wanted to contribute a little effort to help the children grow up through the pages of books. He hoped that no matter where they went, they wouldn't forget this place. Sinjing recognized that the figure in the painting was herself. Li Wu, why are you so adorable? Taking Sinjing outside, Li Wu revealed that he had also bought a pair of rings, but he knew that he might not be able to give them away yet. But Sinjing thought that her lover could still wear a ring. So Sinjing, am I qualified to put a ring on your hand? Li Wu, I also want to give you a ring. Finally, after all the hardships and separations, they still held hands tightly in the turbulent world, so that in the end, they understood that the other person was the most special gift for them.